atmosphere, moving in synergy, this electricity, the power of the pioneers, tearing through history, this is our destiny.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to another evening of ESL Challenger League. I am JRT and I will be joined by Boggs this evening. Austin, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic, John. It's another night of North American Counter Strike, and you and I get to have a cast together, so it's always a good time.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And of course, we've got Reason Gaming making their ESL Challenger League debut, at least the debut for the organization. And then you have M80, who have played 2 matches already and have looked pretty much the way we expected. There were some rocky starts for them, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's first check out the schedule for tonight with the matches that will be happening. We, of course, have our match right here, Reason versus M80. And once that schedule comes on screen, you guys will see what the other match is going to be, assuming we get it up here soon. There we go. We got it. We're good. Wildcard versus Unjustified is the other game. What do you think about that one?
I think Wildcard come into this as a bit of a favorite. I feel like Wildcard is kind of on the outside looking in of those top teams in ECL, but they should be somewhere like the 4th to 5th range, at least in my head ranking. M80 definitely up there with EG. Wildcard could make a good case for third, though, if they do perform well this season. And they're a team I feel like has to have a lot of expectations coming into this, as well as the reformatted way the whole season is working out and the reformatted playoff picture too. Wild card can do some damage here leading up into the playoffs.
I agree. I think Wildcard is a team that is certainly going to be trouble for a lot of the teams in ESL Challenger League to deal with. Even up against M80, which they played not in Challenger League yet, but outside of it, they went to 3 maps. The first map was the best one on Vertigo, where they ended up winning. Sorry, they ended up losing 17-19. They defeated M80. What am I even saying? They defeated M80 and ended up winning on Inferno 16-9 and Anubis 16-4. So they are certainly a team to keep an eye out for. They could even find their way, sneak it up in those top two. We'll have to wait and see. Unjustified on the other side, I think that it's a team that still has a lot of promise, but I think Wildcard will take care of them pretty handily. All that being said, let's jump back into this matchup here. M80 up against Reason. What do you think about it, Austin, on the surface?
I mean, you just look at the rosters and you can see there's a little bit of a gulf between the two. You have some players making a resurgence into ECL over on the Reason side. You have guys like Walker and Grape and Dane, former Third Impact members. This is a core that we've seen a couple years ago at this point, John.
Yeah.
And if we love these players, we know what they can do. But up against the likes of Malbs and Swisher, are they going to be able to stand tall enough? History says no. And are the additions of Beaky and J-Dubs going to be enough to push Reason over the line? It's a tall ask for some players who have a lot of promise, but haven't really shown up on the level of, say, a Swisher.
Yeah, I would tend to agree there. They even had, of course, Insane last season, who was
Hmm.
playing with them in advance, was Walker, Grape, Dangerous, and Insane, which for me is basically the same Third Impact squad. But what happened
Pretty
was, in
much.
fact, I think the problem was that it felt too similar for Walker, Dane, and Grape, and Insane ended up being cut from the team, and he didn't even expect it. Essentially, they didn't like the way the strategies were going for the team, the in-game leading, things like that. So they wanted to make a change. And I believe Walker is now the in-game leader, which is interesting because he's also the primary opper. So we'll see how that plays out. It's been, I think, since season 42 that Grape and J-Dubs have competed at ECL level. And for Walker, since season 40, the most recent players in ECL were Beaky and Dangerous, who were playing in season 44. So there is experience there, no question, like you said, Austin. But I think M80 is going to give them a lot to think about tonight.
A lot to think about and a lot to try and stop because this M80 offense has to be good. It has to be explosive and colorful. The defense should be stout and strong. Reason really do have an uphill battle here. Now, they do have a slight advantage in terms of, I believe, overall map split, at least depth of pool, slightly edging out, I would say, towards Reason, as there's a couple of maps where M80 only have one match played as this actual roster. Yes, you'll see some stats with ATK given the
Yeah.
Rec, Wolfie, and Swisher days there, but I've been personally disregarding those stats when looking at M80 because it doesn't really matter anymore. There's a big difference with Manx coming in as the in-game leader, bringing that
Absolutely.
European style in, and of course Malbs, the Guatemalan phenom, who has been around the block a time or two.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Malbs actually exploded to the top of the scoreboard for this squad, and at least in the early maps that they played, and was very dominant. And it's kind of what you expect because he was always a very flashy player, very mechanically skilled. I think the Team One roster didn't necessarily help his growth. It probably stagnated there because the roster was just kind of carrying on and didn't really ever go upwards at any point. It felt like they just leveled off at Challenger League and that was their ceiling. So that squad, of course, no longer exists. And now you have Mobs joining up here on what is a star-studded roster, truly. I mean, Rec has always been an incredible player, and he's really exploded, especially since he joined ATK. Well, now, of course, M80. And what else? Wolfie. Wolfie was a bit of a question mark when he came back, right? And I don't think he was full on playing when he first joined the squad. He was still kind of working at the same time. But I think that M80 giving them the funding and the support to kind of go full time, we see the Wolfie of old from season 34, 35, 36. Remember when he was a secret club, right? So he was a very
Mhm.
solid opera back then.
Yeah, he also had that stint with Fnatic Youngsters too, over across
Yep.
the pond. So he has that influence, probably a little bit more cohesion with Manx too in that style. I would say Swisher as a cerebral player also kind of slots in a little bit better, a little more of a learning curve for the younger players, or less cerebral oriented in say Malbs and Rec.
So we do have the veto coming in here, Austin.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we have M80 banning Ancient and Reason banning Vertigo. I think that's their usual ban, but it actually works up really well for them because M80
Hmm.
with Manx, who loved playing on Vertigo back when he was with Ecstatic, he also likes to play it with this current roster. They're 4-1 there, so that's a good ban. Anubis is then picked by M80, and that I think is a pretty good pick.
I mean, M80 really only had one game played on it, though, and it was that
Yeah,
destructive loss against Wildcard of 16-4. It's a very interesting pick and maybe something they want to change. They didn't like how that
I
worked
think
out.
so.
Yeah, because that's a pick you don't normally make if you get 16 forward.
I think they're looking at the way that Reason have played on it, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, they're 0-2, 22 and 32. Sorry, 22 rounds for 32 rounds against for a minus 10 round differential. And they're looking and saying, this is probably not a team that's very strong there. We want to make up for, like you said, that performance last time. We feel like we can be better. We'll see how it goes down. I think it's going to be interesting at the very least to see how they perform against Reason, who, yeah, they got blown up pretty much on both times they played Anubis. Inferno then picked by Reason, and this is actually the best map for M80.
Yeah, I feel like that's a reason going, hey, we know how to play Inferno. It's our
Exactly.
most played map by a long shot, by 4. And in fact, if you add the next two most played maps for Reason together, it still doesn't equate to Inferno's 7 times played, a 3-4 record, and their only wins versus notable wins really versus the Jungle and Fluffy Aimers, losses to B Hop and Detonate, -9 round differential. It's not ideal at all. And M80, they do have a win versus PA, Party Astronauts. It's the only real notable team they've taken down on Inferno. But at this point in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, everybody and their grandmother should know how to play Inferno. And it's going to come down really to which team is showing up on this particular day.
I mean, already, M80 haven't played 2 matches. I think they played Inferno, both of them 16-12 against the Bad News Bears. Again, that's not the full Bad News Bears roster because they have to play with Nyx along with Summy because of the rosters have to have 3 of the same 5 players for the first 8 matches, I believe it is. But
Mhm.
either way, still a 16-12 win and an unjustified 16-6 win over them. So they're very comfortable there. I think it's almost feels like an M80 pick there on Inferno in some ways,
Yeah.
but I get the reasoning for Reason, obviously because they want to go with the map that they feel they're best at. And Leftovers Overpass, that one's kind of a toss-up.
It's a bit of a toss up, but M80's one win is versus EG, 16-11. That's a very strong one. And as for Reason, they do have a loss to Limitless and Fluffy Aimers. Their win is versus B Hop. But again, these teams are not on the caliber that we come to expect from the players on M80. And for Reason, it really does almost feel coming in that they're almost a minor league team versus a big league squad in a sense, where they just have no advantage coming through. And for M80, they have to not get overconfident. They have to not be complacent. They have to check all their corners, make sure they're crossing all their T's, dotting all their I's, or they will get caught because Reason do have the players who can punish you for making mistakes.
Yeah, and I feel like mistakes have actually been the one thing that's been happening a lot for M80, and it's normal, right? They're a new roster. They're trying to find their rhythm, trying to find their footing, and sometimes communication has been a little lackluster, spacing as well, a little bit off, rotations, all the types of things that, a team works out over time and builds up that chemistry, but they don't have that yet. So there are definitely going to be instances where M80 is going to make mistakes, and that's where Reason is going to have to capitalize. In my opinion, I think Reason has a chance to put up a really strong fight here because they have that experienced core and those guys that have been here at the ECL level in the past. But M80, with all their firepower, everything I've seen, a strong Wolfie who's performing at the level we expect, Manx calling well and also playing well at this level, which is not usually what he's known for, but he's been playing pretty well. And the stats are showing that as well. And also just everyone, Rex, Swisher, two fantastic riflers. It's a scary team to go up against. I think because of that just pure raw firepower that M80 brings to the mix, I believe they're still going to take this one in 2 maps, Austin.
It's got to be a 2-0 for M80 if they do their job right. That's the big question mark. Will they actually execute properly? If they do, no question in my mind, M80 sweep it.
Agreed. And well, we're going to find out how this goes down. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break. All right, here we go. M80 up against Reason in the map Anubis. Let's see who will come out with the advantage. It is a map that Reason Gaming have played, in fact, more than M80 over the last 2 months, twice versus once. It's not exactly that much, but M80, both M80 and Reason have not won yet here.
No wins, but somebody will end that drought here and
Yes.
now. Rex in a good spot to start things off well for his squad. That's a nice headshot onto Walker, who is playing. It will not be the sub. I guess he got the power all sorted out and powered on. Fall back from Reason's a good idea, especially after having your first player get one tapped out of the server by Rec. And there, of course, there's somebody certainly lurking around, not just one. Malb's already in the fast flank, though. Has to be careful not to get caught. They are watching for this Beaky in particular on the long angle, and Malb smells it out. He's going to back away. M80 have Reason boxed in, but will they expect the E-box pop? Oh, they're already rotating for it. Manx right next to it. Wolfie on the angle. Reason are walking into another crossfire.
Oh boy, J-Dubs will be the first point of contact here into this B site. Wolfie's watching for it. If they can overwhelm him, it could be decent, as you have in the cubby right now. Manx goes down, and they get Wolfie simultaneously. That is a very nice execute by Reason on the pistol round. They will get the bomb planted. Still have 3 members to worry about here on the M80 side, and Swisher with the dualies could pose a problem as he's coming in here from Palace. Malbs and B main. He gets domed immediately and then taken down by Beaky. It is all Reason at this point after that first frag. Wreck, the last one standing. He's tapping away, hoping to do something, anything, maybe get some kill reward for one of these bodies. But as it stands, it looks like, well, his luck has run out and he's going to back off, try and save the body armor. Nice first round from Reason.
Very good first round from Reason. Well executed onto the site. They slow it down. They take it quiet. They force M80 to start doubting themselves. They caught the M80 players on B, just kind of looking back and forth between 2 different angles. And that's exactly what allowed them to split the gap, slip on in, and destroy them. The aim of the holds is also fantastic. J-Dubs with that crispy little P251 tap. And Reason, a well-deserved first round and a good start here. They will have to contend with a force up from M80, though. 3 Deagles, the 5.7, the MP9 in Rex hands because of the saved armor. A little extra firepower, and J-Dubs lacks the helmet. He is vulnerable to that SMG. 4 rifles, though, for the T side. And probably a much slower start. Yeah, they're already into a default shape. And I think Reason are going to hope they can goad M80 into these pushes.
Yeah, J-Dubs is a player that was really strong on his time when he played with Mythic. And then he jumped through many different teams, right? He played on Detonate, One Tap, and GGPR, along with a few advanced squads. So he looked so promising on that Mythic squad, lots of clutch potential. He hasn't really realized it since that point. And I mean, he's 23. I would say that's still young, so he's still got time to potentially find his rhythm and get going here at a higher level of playing Counter-Strike. But hopefully we're going to see it soon. See him back in ECL, of course. Swisher pushes out and gets deleted by Walker, who's also going to get dinged through the wall, I believe it was, from the MP9 of Wreck, who's coming up close and personal. There's one, no second. Dangerous takes him down, makes it a 4v3, so they retain that man advantage.
J-Dubs on the side 2 coming up into heaven. Wolfie will not fall to him, though it's Beaky instead. No real option for Wolfie to get anything out of that situation unless he got one and was done. Manx and Malbs most likely just going to save what they have and try again in the next round. No reason to throw it away. You can always try for a couple deegs in the next one, but only 1 kill each round right now for M80. It's not ideal for this squad with a very strong amount of fraggers. The extra Galil pickup. Ooh, okay. Parting gift from Malbs there, too. Crispy little 1 deeg from the Guatemalan Phenom, and that's going to be a very nice addition. Little extra trimming of Reason. The Galil and the MP9 now with the 2 deeg save. That's a much more beefy buy-up for M80 in the next round without even having to invest any money, except for maybe a piece of body armor on Wolfie and Wreck.
Yeah,
This one might have legs.
yeah, I would say they're probably going to keep above the 2K mark, but I do agree. At least they can invest a little bit, get a better buy up than it would be just having default pistols. And you're seeing exactly that. The Deagle's getting juggled around. And at the end of all of this, it looks like, yeah, it's just going to be the 2 Deagles, the MP9, the Galil, and a USP for Wolfie, who wants to get that AWP up and running. So, yeah, I mean, still opportunities, possibilities for them to pull something off. But Reason will have the significant edge going into this round. J-Dub up here, and then he flicks down to get both Malbs and Mangs. Nicely done from J-Dub, who's off to a pretty strong start.
That first shot was clean. The spray control on the second, nice, easy. Swisher getting burned and flushed out by Grape. Walker charging up, chunking Wreck down significantly. He's down to about a third of his starting HP, and down goes Wolfie as well. J-Dub's holding the canal. That's his Thermopylae, and he's not going to be toppled by the first wave of Persians. Wreck, last man standing on the site. Smoke out from Walker, but Wreck surely doesn't get more than just one Walker, and then caught in reload. Wreck actually doing a little more chip damage. Only 9 rounds of the mag, and smoke spam will find him. 3-0 start for Reason, but the money is now solid for M80. This is where the game truly begins here. We are still on MR15, so it's not going to be too big of a deal to go down 3-0.
Yeah,
the op for Wolfie.
I have to say, I don't know how I feel about MR12. I would say just don't really want it, to be honest, because I think MR15 has so many amazing moments, but I tend to be averse to change, so we'll see how it goes. The one thing is, if it is MR12, there's no way that this economy is sustainable. You can't have 2 rounds where a team basically has nothing that they can buy. Things will have to change significantly. I think Valve knows that, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting adjustment, assuming it even happens. Might just stick to MR15. Anyway, back to the action here. Reason converted off of their pistol round victory. They got both of the following rounds, and now M80 will have their first rifle buy-up. 3 M4s, an A1S, and an op. A very heavy lean to the A4 on M80, which isn't the case for all of the rosters at the Challenger League level, which kind of surprised me, to be honest. I would expect the A1S to be more situational now. Well, until we get to CSGO and you can, CSGO, CS2, and then you can buy them both, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love the A1S more than I like the A4 personally, but that's also just because it's easier to shred if you're not in multi-kill situations. But M80 winning their first 2 fights, Manx with that A1S, and then Wolfie with the op easy shot. Grape's down to 1 HP too. He's just crawling around Canal, picks up the fallen op of Walker, but he's still not in a great spot. Only 41, actually there's 43 points of damage taken if you count the 2 on Wolfie. But overall, M80 in a great spot, holding down their sights, keeping an eye on mid. No aggression needed after those first 2 picks, and they know it. It might just be a save from Reason, and I think this might be a reason why Valve is trying to lean towards MR12, is to limit the amount of saves we've had in Counter-Strike as of late. But I happen to agree with you, John. I feel like MR15 just leads to so much more. I mean, if you want to harken back to Dallas, that ancient map between FaZe and Nets,
it's just fantastic, right? I mean, look, it's also a timing thing, perhaps, right? Because the saves add more time to the match. Playing MR15 also just generally adds more time by its nature than MR12 will. So I understand. But either way, we'll see how it goes. My first reaction was, I don't want this, but we'll see if Valve can change our mind, I guess. And for the A1S versus A4, interesting that you prefer the A1S, actually, because I used to like it more, but the problem is you get 10 more rounds, 10 more bullets, right, to fire from that A4, and like you kind of alluded to, it's better in clutch situations. I just think better overall. You got the mid-range, maybe a slightly better long-range engagement with the A1S. I don't know. I guess it's up for debate, but at the very least, you'll be able to afford them both, like I mentioned, once we move over to CS2, because you can just have them both in your loadout.
Yeah. I think my thing is, too, I'm never in a position where I end up using the full 20 anyways, usually.
Yeah.
Because if I'm on a side hold, I'm getting 1-2 people, and I'm probably not surviving much longer.
So it's more about you can't get more than 2 kills then, Austin.
I play a lot of solo anchors.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I'm just bugging.
Oh, I know.
Bit of a slow start to this round. 109 on the clock. Reason slowly but surely are now making their way across bridge. Walker got the big green. Good to see him opping again at the ECL level. Interestingly enough, the reason didn't make it to ECL through relegation. The reason that they're here is because of, I think it was a few teams that are no longer going to be competing or left NA. MIBR and Pain left NA to go play in South America, of course, and Strife, I think, just disbanded. So
Yeah,
they're no longer
Strife just died.
Yeah. So that's why Reason are here.
Yeah, and they're a team that, if you look at the players here, does belong in ECL.
Yes.
So I'm not upset to see them here, and I'm not upset to see a full NA ECL for the first time since I started following. Oh, the jump throws Wreck off. He does so much damage, but he can't get the kill. The op from Wolfie needs to shine. He's up close and personal. He gets the call out on the next two, and he's able to back away. The bomb on the floor. Wolfie holding down the fort. He's covered, and he no-scopes Walker. No. The ace is connected. Wolfie mops them all up, and Wreck falling down early doesn't affect him at all. Wolfie shotgun opping. Back in North America. I believe they're based in Texas now. Give the man a cowboy hat because he's a gunslinger.
Oh my goodness. Wow, what a play from Wolfie. I didn't think he was going to get that no scope, but afterwards you kind of felt like the ace was coming with the way he was firing off on all cylinders. And of course the Colat doesn't hurt, and that's a little problem with the spacing for Reason, but I think it's just more the situation, right? They're trying to push up. They get caught off in a really awkward spot, and a great shot hit from Wolfie. And now 2 rounds in a row, economy broken for Reason. Malbs is going aggressive, maybe suspecting that, and he wants to get in on a flank. In the meantime, Walker eats a nade right outside of B main, so he's going to go down a little bit. Wolfie peering over the top of the smoke, expecting something. Does he see it? He does now. Wolfie finds Walker. That makes it a 5v4.
Last 6 kills have come from Wolfie, and now M80 are starting to get a little more aggressive out towards Canals. They have to be careful, though, against the Pistols. Reason are hoping they can isolate some 1vx's and put M80 in the 1 situation. Smoke out. Swisher sprays away. Doesn't know he dropped the bomb, but it's a nice kill nonetheless. And Reason abandoning the objective. No, they're going to go back for it late. But I don't think there's much opportunity here for Reason, especially after that second kill. A bomb plant would even be a very, very amazing outcome for the T side.
Certainly would be, and I don't really see it in the cards. You have Beaky throwing the flashbang to try and open up a little bit of space, and it might. The problem was Malbs wasn't exposed to it, so he's probably going to use the flashbang thrown by his teammates. He got 1-2, goes down, but the third is mopped up by Wreck quite handily. So there you go. M80 don't have too much of a problem with the anti-eco, losing 1 player, and Reason, well, they got 3 in a row to start it off. And now they surrendered 3 in a row to M80, and as a result, they want to call a timeout to talk things over because an important round is going to come through here.
Important more so for Reason, as M80 are nowhere near being reset right now. 2 players at the 7K mark, another 2 hovering around between the 4.5 and 5.5K. Swisher, the only guy who's relatively broke, and he's at 2.5. So the money is looking good for M80. Reason are on the brink of another reset if they lose this next round. And once the guns have come out, they haven't even gotten a bomb down. They haven't even gotten a sniff of a bomb sight. And M80 are just holding the lines. They're just having Reason walk into them, and there needs to be some sort of execute coming through from the Reason side, and we haven't been able to see that yet. The rotation on the Pistols, where there was no utility for either side, was good, but now that the guns are here, M80 playing with more and more confidence, sucking up all the free space.
Kind of what was expected, right? Given the firepower that the squad had, like you mentioned in the pregame. Once those rifles come out, it's a lot for a Reason. Malb just charges out into their face and gets 2. Wreck finds one to Jacob, and they take complete control of the outside of A in water here. Oh my goodness, Reason. This is their buy-up. I mean, M80 made it look like you were on an eco still.
Oh yeah, the flash from Swisher blinds all 3. Malbs peeks out. Wreck gets the last. That's just a really good bit of aggression pushing in towards Canals, where they have a good inkling Reason like to set up on their defaults. They've gotten some information there before from the spams from E-Box, and now they go for a bit of aggression. M80 already starting to snowball that confidence into rounds. Dane and Grape with nothing they can really do. They do possess the bomb, but Manx is holding the cross. Grape seems aware, but can he get by? He does, but he doesn't do any damage on it. Still a 5v2 in the favor of the CT side. And time is ticking, both in the round timer and also just on the chances Reason have to even get a bomb plant out of this one.
Yeah. You have to imagine that a save might be called here. Couple of flashes, Grape's waiting, holding the flank. Grape, who was once upon a time a primary opper for a very brief moment, but now he's taking care of secondary op duties behind Walker, so he's no stranger to using it. But now, Reason, well, they've decided to save. Dane spots out the barrel of Malcolm's gun, knows something's coming, turns away from the flash, gets the headshot. Now Rec might have to think twice here. The money's okay, so they can try for this, but it's not good to lose so many guns on team side, even when doing this well. But I guess it doesn't matter. Manx and Rec re-peek anyway. They get the last two and say, we don't care about the money. We just want to make life difficult for Reason.
Well, it gets even more difficult. Both those kills coming after the time expired.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is painful. That's going to sting for Reason, and there's definitely no way they're getting a buy-up. They honestly might just force into here because they're almost in a double eco situation, but they're just going to have Grape on nothing coming into the next round, or they just might half it too. It should be at max loss of 34, but still, it's not the best. Nades raining into Canal. That's a chunky second. And Reason already sweating before they even get a step towards a site proper. Smoke down for Manx, Molly's out for Malbs, guns trained and ready. They've got the right idea. And a fade away from Reason, trying to goad M80 into a little over-aggression. It's not going to work right now. M80 know they don't need to push right now.
Yeah, good patience from M80 and good discipline as well. Reason. All 5 players are going in like a train here. Into the B site. Is Rec going to be the one to stop it in the tracks? It looks like it. There's one for the second. Rec drops his second. And now a third for himself. The 4K is on potentially. Beaky will go down to Swisher. So no 4K for Rec, but he's got 3, and that was a solid site hold.
Yeah, bomb plant plus the kill. That's a very solid result for Reason overall, especially considering how much nade damage they took in Canals in the first 20 seconds or so. So a very good start here for Reason to build up something into this round. They get Grape on a full buy, which is incredibly important. The op back for Walker, but he needs to do a little bit more, sitting at 1-7. T-set opping, yes, significantly more difficult, and M80 are not making it easier by not giving him opportunities for easy picks. But Wolfie is holding the line. Swisher hasn't really had to do anything besides be a supportive player, and down goes Walker on the peak. Wolfie even choosing to aggress behind the flames. M80's scarier and scarier by the minute.
Yeah. Their engines are revving now. They're ready to go. Dangerous. Waiting right outside of B main. M80. They're hitting their shots. You mentioned Swisher more in a supporting role. That's another thing that's great about having so much firepower. Sometimes just be like, okay, well, you take care of the frags. I'll take a step back for a moment, and Grape actually gets the headshot onto Malb, so that means that the members will look at the flank. It comes in, but it gets spotted. Great awareness from J-Dubs, realizing that there was a gap in their lines, comes back to close it, and Swisher gone. There's a man advantage for Reason to work with now, and they still have plenty of time on the clock here to go for an execute onto this B site, and it looks like it will be the vacant B site because everyone on M80 deciding to stack towards A. You still have Wolfie waiting right around Sniper Nest here outside of CT spawn, but I don't know how much he's going to be able to achieve once this hit comes through.
Still no side entry. Now they waltz on through. Good counter flash. It's a solo hold from Wolfie, just trying to delay as much as possible. Maybe pick somebody up through a gap in the smoke. He does have one to exploit, but the bomb will touch the dirt. Extra money. Wolfie closing up. Shotguns Grape. And now he's going to look for more. Peeking around, still scoped in. J-Dubs keeping an eye on a couple different angles himself. Has to be careful. Oh, flank fakes coming through as well. That's smoke. The spam will the jump across. Beaky spots him and removes him there too. The gap exploited by Beaky on the hold. Rec coming in behind. J-Dubs goes down 2v2. In comes the take. The spur is in. Beaky. Wolfie runs right into him. Swaps the off. Dane capitalizes on the repeat. And now it's just a hold from Red.
He's got it.
And he's got no idea. Dane hasn't heard it. The shots go sideways. They do not connect.
Oh, no.
And what a way to win the round for M80. Reason, it felt like they should have won it. I wanted to say Reason won the round. And yet Rep just holds his nerve in the smoke. That is so unlucky.
Oh, my goodness. And the worst part about it was it Dane at the end? On
Yep.
Reason? Yeah, for Dane Joris, he was dead on. His crosshair was on, but he was moving too much. Had he stopped moving and stood still and taken that shot, it would have connected and they had the round. But so she goes in Counter-Strike. Wolfie looking around here. It's so impressive. They got that retake. And he goes down, actually, over the top of the smoke. Good shot from Walker. 5v4. J-Dubs working his way through water, trying to get to Con. Smoke is thrown, so going through there could be a little ill-advised, especially with Manx so close here. Manx going to try spamming through. Maybe J-Dub's going to be aware of the fact that he's here now? Yeah, I would think so, being that close to the A1S being fired. Grape's going to grab that bomb over in T-spawn. It looks like the hit will be towards B. Oh, that tick is going to help M80 a lot. They're going to know that there's some presence in water now.
The information has been key to M80's success so far. They're going to continue that as they look to put 7 in a row on the board. Just continue growing that lead, cultivating it into a nice little field. Manx now soloing the site. Does not exactly have a fast rotate either, but Malbs is making his way back towards B. Ooh, no, he's going back. Thinking it might be a fake or a split. Manx has a lot to do. At least get 2 out of this situation. Bring it to level footing. The spray goes through. It doesn't connect. Malbs is here and now. Behind this smoke, waiting to pop on through. Bomb plant in for Reason with all 5 alive. They have to hold this one. Do M80 even go for it? They've got plenty of money. No reason not to. But if they can't get an opening fast, it might just be better to save. Rec coming in through E-Box. There's 2 people on this angle, but Manx doubles the entry, and they've got the right idea. Walker strikes with 1 more, and he'll go for a second. In comes Beaky and J-Dubs. The mop-up is here for Reason. Get out the brooms and the buckets, because they just swept M80 out of that round.
Wow, that was a really solid post-plan hold. You thought for a moment with Manx getting that 2K that M80 were going to pull another one right out from under Reason, but no, denied by Walker, who hit a couple of nice ones, and the rest of his squad cleaned them up with the AKs. Reason find a 4th and cut the gap down to 2. The thing is, as we mentioned, there was still enough money for M80 to buy up here. Sure, they have to sell for Moss, but it's pretty much full utility and full rifles outside of that with the 3 A1Ss and the AWP in the mix. Walker already out to the B main. Flashbang thrown. That was for a peek to come through, and well, as soon as the flash is tossed, Reason immediately fall back. And then re-smoked by M80. So, time ticking away on the clock. Reason doesn't get the early presence that they wanted, so they're going to reset a little bit.
Not a lot of util left for M80. Molotov on 2, smoke on 2, flash on 2. It's pretty limited here overall. And Malbs is getting harangued outside B. Caught by the Oppa Walker, who's starting to come online. A win condition there being achieved for Reason. Evening things up a little bit more. Swisher now, bottom of the scoreboard overall, needs to get himself activated. His flash work has been critical to the early success of the M80 side. But there needs to be a little bit more from Mikey. Needs to put a little more on the board now. Beaky splitting in through E-Box. 2 players on site. Swisher and Manx up over top. Caught by the Oppa Walker, who's clicking everything now. Swisher waiting for reinforcements. Going in behind the util. Spots out a burning grape. Gets caught by Beaky for me. And there's 2 more left on the site. Down goes Rec. Wolfie saving Shirley. Backing away after sticking around for an exit for a little bit longer. He's got to get out of here. And that's 2 in a row now for Reason, bringing it to a 6-5 scoreline and probably a 6-6 because M80 will not have the funds to reinvest in the following round.
Yeah, and that's another really patient, strong execute coming through from Reason. You know, the patient gameplay paying off. M80 a little too eager, I think, to try and take the fights in those first 2 engagements, and afterwards just they can't really get much done in the post plant. Another thing that's happening is 2 rounds in a row now, they're throwing that Molotov, and I'm not sure if it's intentional, but the Molotov is more so blocking out players from coming up connector. Once the bomb is being planted, though, they're throwing that. So I'm not sure if the intention of the Molotov is to go to pillar and it's just going past that twice, or if they actually are trying to isolate players and make it easier to try and re-engage with the players on that site. I'm not 100%, but either way, it hasn't been working.
No, it hasn't. And maybe you're going to call attack pause to figure out what's going wrong. And I think it's a good time for it, too. Yes, they've only lost 2. But clearly what they have been doing previously is no longer working. Could they have saved this timeout for when they have a full buy? Sure. And maybe it would be better to do that. But right now they have the information of how Reason are playing on gun rounds, which this one's an anti-eco. I think it's a good time to talk things over. Figure out what they need to fix and put it into practice in the next round. That's the difficult part, is putting it into practice a round after the timeout has gone through. And a heavy A-lean from Reason. M80 have stacked this. The nade goes in, but it only tags Swisher. The op from Wolfie soloing the opposite site. Only 2 upgraded pistols, but it is a firing squad around the door. If Reason aren't quick on the shots, they could end up being a bit bloodied. And Grape might even get caught if he chooses to go down Canals Cross. Utility going in. Do they have the flashes for this take? Will they throw the flashes, more importantly? There it is.
Either way, though, the stack is here, so they're choosing the wrong bomb. So A-Dub's going to come out, gets one, sprayed it out immediately, gets the AK, can't fire a shot from it. Beaky, wow, with the 3K spray down. Excellent transfer coming through as well, and Wolfie is the last one standing with the AWP. He says, I don't want anything more to do with this one, and backs off completely. Wow.
Wow.
That was nice from Beaky.
That was clean from Beaky. J-Dubs with a good entry, but Beaky just mops it up. Such a good cleanup there from Beaky. And maybe they had the right read. They had the right stack. The gamble paid off. It's just the problem being they just got demolished by one man. Beaky definitely put the wow in his name with that one. That was great spray control in the third and final.
Oh, yeah. No, that was fantastic. So now we're all tied up at 6 assists with teams going back and forth with the rounds. Beaky actually goes down to bomb. Yeah, that's surprising. Didn't get far enough away. So maybe needs to ensure that he goes far enough from the bomb site next time, even though he got the 3K.
Minor detail.
Yeah, minor detail. No big deal. Has to reinvest.
Yeah, he was watching. He clipped it, and he was watching his kills again.
That's exactly it. 13th round of play here. 2 A4s, the FAMAS, the OP, and the A1S for M80 were back onto the rifles. Reason just carrying over what they had in the previous one, aside from a two buy-ups they needed to make. And Walker is already here next to the boat in water, having a peek in towards those.
Oh. Swisher's now rotated 3 stack towards B from M80, leaving Rec to solo the A site with the fast rotate of Swisher if required. A little bit of damage on the Grape, about half his health actually taken away by that spam from Swisher. But Canal's control taken by Reason. It's a bit of a different default from them too. A little more of their bases covered here. Manx playing a dangerous game with the jiggle molly out. In comes one, down goes his. And we have no man's land and towards E-Box. B still seems to be the place to go for the Reason side, though. Manx on the spray, connects on the first, can't recoil it back into the second. A second molly, though, comes through, and time beginning to dwindle. Reason, are they going to brute force their way in? Wolfie's still here with the op, as is Malbs on the M4. And the stall utility, impeccable from the CT side, keeping Reason to the extremities.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive on the M80 side. Now 28 seconds left. Reason have to get in here. They do have even numbers here at a 4v4, but one mistake and it's all done. Walker Thinks about the Molotov, puts it away, goes over the op, shot hit from Wolfie, Mobs as well, connects on the J-Dubs, and time is ticking away. I don't think they'll be able to do this, and they recognize that as Dangerous goes down, but Rek takes down a retreating Walker, prevents him from saving the AWP, and M80 are back on the board with a 7th.
Great 7th there from M80. A good hold on the B site. Great utility into stall. That was a very well played hold. And they elect to not go for the double op too, which is interesting. They had the option to. Rek went for the AK instead, just missed it by a hair. Famas will still be in his hands. Penultimate round of the half here at hand. M80 looking for a 9-6 half reason. If they can manage to get themselves 7, that would be huge. A spray from Grape takes down Swisher. I believe Swisher was kind of blind there too. That's not a good start for M80. A little unnecessary aggression too coming through in mid. And they're down a man in the first 25 seconds or so. It's a very poor start. And they're going to go aggressive off of the back of the loss. Maybe that's why?
Yeah, when you're going to get 2 frags like that, go aggressive as much as you want. Manx and Mobs, the 2 M's here on the M80 roster, making it a 4v3 just like that after the opening kill went Reason's way. Rek now going to smoke off one angle here towards the A site. J-Dubs peering in from A main. And Rek, I mean, he's thinking about pushing up. Not sure if that would be the best idea with Grape right there. Wolfie's posted up, holding the angle, sees the hands as the utils throw. Right before Wolfie drops J-Dubs. And Beaky is Wolfie's 3rd victim on the round. Another 3K for the Opper of M80.
Wolfie's just doing it all right now. Up close and personal, he's hitting all of his shots a little more towards the mid-range. We don't really get to see the long-range op duel on this map, but he's been doing really good in the close quarters combat with it. Last round of the half now. Reason with a bit of a scrounged up buy. A deagle for Grape so he gets the utility. Not a lot of utility for anybody else. Walker still has his op, and J-Dubs, he's swimming with the fishes.
My goodness. Wolfie is just on another level at the beginning of this season, like I said before. Is Swisher okay? He hasn't had the best of games, but he'll take that one through the smoke, just spamming common angles. Gets Beaky taken down to the ground. 5v3. Walker, Dane, and Grape are all grouped up together. They're thinking, well, we're here towards the B site. We don't have much map control. M80's pushed up pretty aggressively on bridge. Maybe we should try doing something here, and that smoke's going to deter them perhaps a little bit. Mobs toss the nade. That lands as Walker's feet in the second one as well. Yeah, the double nade ensures that Walker is a soft target.
He can't be a bullet sponge anymore. He's just a regular sponge. He's almost full. Counter utility coming in, a Molotov to hold off more. Walker's got to move. The flash will allow him to escape, but he's not going to back out fully. Wolfie wins the fight. Of course he does. Great flash. I think that was Wolfie's himself.
It was his own flash.
Yeah,
he
set himself off.
Beautiful. Dane and Grape have to do something, and they'll do nothing. Mobs and Wolfie drop them to the ground. 9-6 in favor of M80 as we head to a quick break. A very streaky half from both sides there. We had 3 rounds in a row from Reason. Then it felt like we were going back and forth to 3 rounds in a row after that point. Even though M80, I think, had 6 in a row in between all of that chaos and back and forthness. But at the end of the day, M80's walked into the second half with a 9-6 lead, going with their T side, which technically is favored here on Anubis ever so slightly. So we'll see if they can convert that to a victory. As Dangerous looking around with the pistol, fires a shot off, and M80's already got this site.
Yeah, they've got the site, they've got the bomb down, they've got the hold initiated, they don't have a kit to deal with, so they just have to hold the line. They're going to go for fights here. Dangerous punishes the first 2, Grapes got the third, and a 4th as well. Rex, the last man standing, and Reason are firing up here on the pistol round again. One holding the bomb, not yet, but they've just put Rex down 6 feet. J-Dubs with the dual Berettas to mop it up. Yeah, M80 got the site. They lost it just as fast.
Wow. I mean, look, these pistol round recoveries from Reason have been very impressive. In that first one, I think it was M80 who got the killing blow, and then afterwards, that first frag, it was all Reason. Kind of the same thing here, right? M80 get one, or I don't even know if they got one. They just got the bomb site, planted the bomb, and then Reason just came storming in like a bulldozer and plowed through everything that was in their way. Excellent retake. Defusal comes through. Now they have 4 A1Ss and a FAMAS, which is the benefit of running the A1S, right? When you're on a when you win that first round with a defusal, you tend to have a better buy if you're running the A1S, because you obviously $200 cheaper.
Yeah. Extra flashbang, or get yourself a helmet or a kit, something extra. But $200 does make a lot of difference, especially
really
on the CT
does.
side.
It's crazy how much difference it makes.
Yeah, the economy, even if we say MR15, I think there still needs to be some tweaks to it, but...
Yes. I think winning pistol round should mean more for CT side, even with the bomb being planted.
Because as of right now, it equals basically equivalent side.
Yes.
Because the Galil's just that good.
Yeah, the little bit of a buff they gave it some time ago has had a significant impact on the buy-ups for the T side. Nice shot by BQL through the smoke, tracks the tracers, makes it a 5v4. Reason trying to work that advantage with the A1S's. Damage favors, yeah, obviously Reason because they got that first frag. J-Dubs waiting, staring at the smoke, knowing it's going to fade soon and that someone might try peering on forward or coming through. Malbs, that's someone. Sees J-Dubs, and J-Dubs has no chance to even fire a clinical shot from Malbs. Now they'll be able to get the bomb plant again.
Extra bomb plant, always good, but a 4v4 situation and a more even chance to hold against guns, with guns. M80 can start a war of attrition here if they can hold the line. Again, no defuse kit for the CT side. It did not bother them last round, but there's more of a chance it does here and now. He flashed in, destroyed by the Tech 9. Malbs has Grape on a plate, or maybe a platter, and Wolfie fells Walker in the meantime. Dane backing up, does take down both players pushing in through E, but that was just a punish attempt from M80, trying to eliminate any saved guns for the Reason side. Either way, though, double digits for M80. They respond very well in turn. Great entry. Malbs, the second as well, was solid. Manx and Wolfie chiming in on the hold. Reason sent back to nothing. Not quite the Stone Ages. They still do have firearms, but might as well be considering they're going to have the M4 and nothing else.
Yeah, there's no justifiable reason to buy up here.
Double
It's
eco.
going to be called. Yeah, I suppose they could choose to force up, but
I probably would in this situation, just given the fact that there is literally no money on anybody. Nobody's near 2K except for Dane.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get 1,900 in the next round, which would make it I mean, if you're looking long term, probably would make sense to keep the money in the bank account, save for a couple of rounds, and then have a much stronger buy-up. Not to mention you have the A1S to kind of fall back on in this round, so there's no reason to, okay, well, I was trying to justify something that they didn't feel was justifiable. They're going to force up across the board pretty much, except for Walker, who saves the money for the AWP. 257s, the Deagle, and the A1S. Nice. Want to come out here? He gets the opener onto Dane and on Grape as well. The pistols are all that's left, and well, probably not too much longer. Looks like it's only going to be Beaky. Wow, his position known. Malbs is hungry for frags. He smells blood in the water. Nade thrown forward. Swisher peeking around, and Swisher the one to deal a killing blow.
That'll be some confidence building there from Swisher. Get a couple of kills against the Ecos, nice and clean. He hadn't had the easiest start, so it's good to see him getting a little more involved here on the T side of things. 4 rounds the gulf between the two sides, and a save here from Reason, a full save, mind. That'll be M80's most likely 12th. Unless they walk into a stack from Reason, in which case things get weird. But M80 probably going to default out a little bit more. Try and figure out where Reason are coming from. Reason are going to charge up middle, perhaps. They're all stacked up in mid.
I think, yeah, you might be right. I was going to say they might just wait around the corner, but now they're peeking around, trying to bait out perhaps. M80 is coming here, and now they all charge out into the crosshairs. There we go. It is a firing squad taking down all 5 Reason members. Malbs almost goes down, but he survives with 1 HP. 12-7 in favor of M80, as you predicted, Austin, and a 5-round lead.
Here comes the buy. Walker has the op. M80 still with Galils. Still with the M4s they salvaged from Reason. The AK on Swisher is their lone Kalashnikov. Full utility. Absolutely boiling money. If M80 win this round, it's almost curtains. Reason will have to go for a save again unless they're able to keep a few guns up. And not to mention the fact that this is Reason's essential chance to try and turn the tide back into their favor before the lead gets too insurmountable. They only have 1 kit. The utility's not fantastic. The nade damage they even had early, it's not great either. Everyone's still relatively strong.
Yeah. This is not going to be an easy round for them. Not really going for too much map control at mid, but they are doing that outside of B. We'll see if Malbs realizes it. He's kind of waiting for it. The op is locked in, but at the wrong angle. Malbs gets the headshot. Knows there's a second player there as well, but that player retreats in the meantime. Dangerous taken down. Beaky by his lonesome on the A site. He needs reinforcements, and he won't get them. Manx, the headshot, his second frag, and Grape and J-Dubs are just going to have to stay likely on this A site if they even can. Malbs hunting. He finds another scalp. J-Dubs, last one alive, and he will manage to catch Malbs off guard at the very least, but that's the first kill of the round for Reason.
First kill, bomb down. The hunt is on for J-Dubs too. B site swarming with T's. A site actually kind of abandoned. There's only Manx there, and he's pushed all the way through main into towards canals. They have an idea where J-Dubs can be, though. They have him boxed in. Swisher on the flank. Almost spots him. Does he get caught on the timing? Does J-Dubs get anything more for his trouble here? Swisher making noise. Doesn't stop him. Headshot delivered. The sweet release of death. The reward for J-Dubs.
Yeah, J-Dubs, unfortunately for him, holding the wrong angle. It was a nice flick, and the realization, right, that a little bit of noise came his way, but Swisher was just full-on clearing that angle. No chance for J-Dubs. 13-7 in favor of M80, and since that pistol round to open things up here in this second half, we haven't really seen that much to speak of from the Reason squad. It was such a promising start, too, not only to the second half, but that first half being as close as it was. But M80 on their T side can be exceptionally lethal with entry fraggers such as Rex. He walked into this one with 16 entry frags, and when he gets one, his team wins 87.5% of those rounds. Then you have Swisher with the same amount, 16 frags, and that represents 17.2% of the rounds that have been won by M80. So, I mean, they're just, like I said, so much potent firepower and players that are strong on all roles.
The chances for Reason, I don't know what much they have left. The push runs into Malbs, and actually they do get one out of that. Grape doesn't take too much damage there. Maybe Malbs is too used to the A4, couldn't control the A1S, which is not a statement you hear very often. Bomb going to go down on an open B, A site rather, though, as Rek continues to push forward and gain more ground. Has to be careful of a smoke push, expects one up towards heaven, and Beaky will get caught around the edge of that smoke. Grape should save. Grape should have no inkling at all of attempting any sort of retake, any sort of fight, any sort of contact with M80, bar something over long distance radio, maybe satellite phone. That's the closest he should come to anybody on M80. They need that M4 next round.
Absolutely. No, he's pretty much straight out of that bomb site. Not even on B. He wants to get into perhaps T-spawn. Walker and Dane, though, they can hunt a little bit. That Deagle perhaps could net them another rifle, but M80 are giving them absolutely nothing. Manx hanging around a little bit longer, see if anyone decides to come onto the bomb site. Doesn't happen. 14-7. M80 extends their lead even further and doubles up on the scoreline of Reason. They only need 2 more rounds, and this one is done and dusted. A far better performance than M80 had when they played wildcard here and lost 4-16.
Yeah, this is a much different result from M80. Even if this goes to overtime, or even if they lose 16-14, they still have
it's been
over
much
tripled their rounds.
Yeah.
Significantly better. In comes the push. Swisher with the entry, trying to double it up. Manx actually does fall. Malbs goes down as well. Grape is still alive somehow, but Swisher on the USP grabs the third. He finishes Dane while Grape is still sitting behind the obelisk.
That's crazy.
The bomb can go down. Grape did so much to buy time and stay alive, and he might have actually done enough to enable his team to win with Swisher on one-shot territory health. Walker with the op, though, is not going to be the easiest player to have a retake with. He has that flash, though. Beaky coming in the long way around on the flank. Do they expect it?
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you have to wonder if they're just going to fall back and save for overtime. Walker's not really near the site. Beaky's throwing some util. Walker's waiting, watching, time ticking away. Even if they get to the bomb site at this point, they have to find all the kills and defuse the bomb, and there won't be time for it. So, yeah, save comes through. They have to play for OT. And oh no, Beaky gets caught out! That's not going to help. Walker at least keeps the op. Maybe. Probably. Yes? Okay. I thought for a moment Wolfie might go to the A site and we might see a fight in the waning moments of that round. But 15-7 in favor of M80. Reason need 8 in a row just to force overtime. They will have enough money to buy up here, I think, relatively comfortably, so that's okay. But they need to win a round, and it hasn't looked good, even with full buy-ups.
Yeah, it's not going to be a great time here for Reason. They do get the timeout in. They will try and discuss what they can do to salvage things here. But what can they do to salvage things? Map point, not series point. Don't listen to the HUD. This is map 1 of a possible 3. The pick of M80, Inferno map number 2. Reason's pick, but all reasons for picking it aside, it still doesn't bode well for Reason.
No. Decidedly not. But we'll see how it goes. Certainly there were no slouches on their T side. It's just once they got the CT side, the defense here on a new fell apart. Wolfie gets the opener. They try for some aggression. Oh no! Walker legs Wolfie. Can't connect on the frag. Does get the second, but the flashbang's perfect, and Swisher with the unsilenced A1S gets the frag onto Walker. Out. Gets control of the bomb site, and now Reason they have no choice but to go in, and Wolfie hanging back, gets J-Dubs on the attempted rotation, forces Beaky to stop in his tracks, re-peeks it, finds Wolfie. Reason absolutely need this round or we're done, so they're going to continue forcing their way towards this site.
They have one flash to work with. One flash on Grape. They have the kit on Beaky. The flash goes in. Another kit to be picked up, and it's over on Beaky's side. Grape chunked down lower and lower. Time running out. Grape goes down. It's up to Beaky in a 1v3. He had one great 3K on A. Can he double it up? The nade to finish. And it's going to be M80. A rather clinical and clean set D half. They lost pistol round, and that was it.
Wow. I mean, honestly, I think we saw that up against Unjustified in that first series. I think it was Inferno when it was 9-6 or Vertigo, one of the two. And then the second half, just a clean sweep. This time, almost the same. Pistol round loss, and afterwards, they just sailed to victory. This is what happens sometimes. And Swisher, who had a quiet first half, just awoke in that second half on T side, getting entries, looking so strong, right? When he got to that B site around pillar, he was rotating around, found a way to get the frags. I just loved it, Austin.
It was fantastic. Yeah, Swisher kind of got a little confidence boost with a couple of those early eco frags. And then once he got that, once he actually got into the game, because he didn't really have to see anything for the first several rounds of that first half, he got activated. That was the Swisher we love to see. And
Yep.
M80 rolled away with that one. But with
hmm
Inferno waiting in the wings, I don't know if Reason can salvage it. We'll have to find out when we return after the break.
Break up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, that you're holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm feeling kinda used, yeah, like a drug that you take when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue?
We're back here with map number 2, M80 up against Reason. Technically, this is Reason's map pick, but it's also M80's strongest map. M80 8-2 over the last 3 months here, and a plus 40 round differential. Looking over at Reason Gaming, they've played it a lot. I think it's 9 times or 8 times. They're 4-4 on it though, and a minus 13 round differential. So that is not too great on their side. We'll see if they'll be able to put up a fight here up against M80, who did have a few struggles against the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, they had a couple struggles against the Bad News Bears, but we'll see if they can struggle the same way against Reason. Swisher definitely struggling early, but Malbs and Manx level it up and then take the man advantage. Wreck holding down the sidewalk will get caught by Walker, and Wolfie now pushing in towards Apps. Knows it's going to be a B take as the bomb rests towards the top of car. Taps are not connecting, but Grapes will find their mark. Beaky eliminates Manx.
Really?
And another Reason pistol round, perhaps? I don't see a world in which Wolfie can win this 1v3.
I mean, it's been their shining point, right? The fact that they've won every single pistol up till this point. Wolfie has a clutch and a half on his hands. 3 players below 40 HP. So a chance here. Problem is he doesn't have a kit. He does have that body armor, and he might decide to save it, and that is indeed the call. Wolfie backing off of the fight. Reason 3 for 3 on the pistol rounds.
And considering the fact that Reason only got 4 rounds off of the back of their pistol round wins on Anubis, it could have been so much more, John. It could have been so much tighter of a scoreline.
Absolutely. But Reason just fell flat, I think, once they got to the CT side. Really couldn't deal with what M80 were throwing their way.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate for them, but I think you're right. Getting the pistol rounds both times and only getting 7 rounds overall is really quite a problem. 4 Galils, the Mac 10 for Reason. Over on the M80 side, they will be forcing up. Wolfie has the scout. He can be very lethal with that. 2 5.7s and 2 Deagles. Last time they were here on Inferno, Swisher dropped 22 frags, and Manx had an 87.9 ADR with the rating, the highest rating going to Manx as well, at 1.28. The IGL, as mentioned, has been no slouch statistically. Smoke's going to get tossed here by Manx. Speaking of which, he is the lone anchor here at B. The rest of the squad is stacked up on A, and that might be the right call. The bomb is still dropped on the ground outside of T-spawn, so Reason will have to recover that. As it hasn't been recovered yet, I almost feel like the B site will be their final destination. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a rotate back to B. Beaky has to go all the way to T-spawn to recover the bomb, and we'll start their quick jaunt up banana. Another smoke from Manx used, a flashbang debated, but not actually thrown. It looks like the rotations for M80 are going to be a little bit belayed. And will they even go for anything, or will they just save the utility, save the armor for the next round, save the scout? No. Wolfie's making his way downtown. The flank is initiated. M80 are going to go for this, and if they are able to turn the tide here, it would be magnificent, but down goes Manx, Beaky with another anti-force by kill. Bomb going down. Bad timing on the reload. Walker still able to get that one off before Swisher can mop up the first. And he will actually find a second kill out of this whole thing. Not going to get much more given his one-shot HP. And the scout from Wolfie will actually tag down Beaky. In comes the peek. A headshot. No. It's doable, but he can't connect another. It's up to Swisher now, and there's not much chance. He does have a kit, but getting both of these two players, considering they're both boxed up towards New as well, impossible now. Beaky gets the last. Still solid damage from M80, getting 3 kills.
Absolutely. I mean, Wolfie, I thought he was dead to rights once he misses that first shot, but then they don't connect on him, and he gets a chance at a second and nails the headshot. So at that point, there was a brief, perhaps I'd say a second, where it felt like M80 would be able to recover and get back on that site, but then Wolfie immediately goes down afterwards, and Swisher with such low HP just doesn't have the ability to fight both players. He tried to isolate the fights, but they were stacked up together, and there really wasn't much of a chance for him. So now M80 will be on pistols only. It'll be 2 P250s. That's all the upgrades we're going to see. Couple of nades and a flashbang. This time they have 3 players posted up on the B site. Are the nades there? They are, and they're thrown a little too early. So probably going to fall to the ground. Okay, maybe not. Malbs gets the opener, a gun on the ground. Molotov ensures that the gun can't be picked up, and you have to imagine that Reason, once they make their way up banana, assuming they will, they'll ferry that gun away. But no, they leave the Galil behind. M80 full on rotate to A because Reason saw so many players there. They realized that they're falling out the A site. Walker gets one. Malbs finds himself a second. This could be M80 taking it, but Beaky and Walker combine for 4 frags and shut down M80. What an effort on what was basically dry USPs.
Yeah, that would have been a stunning round, a turn of events, but Reason do capitalize in the end. They do grab the round. Beaky doing what he's been doing from the last map, carrying it over to Inferno. Walker chiming in early too is very good. But M80 now with a little bit more confidence they can deal some damage with the pistols are on a full buy. This is exactly the same start we had on Anubis. 3 rounds to Reason, and then M80 get their guns out. It was a very staunch CT side on Anubis. No reason to suspect anything different here on It is a very old CT favored map. Maybe not as much anymore, but the olden days of Inferno, John. 10-5, 11-4 was not uncommon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But there is one difference, of course, from this one compared to Anubis. It's that M80 did a lot of damage here, where on Anubis they weren't really getting frags at all. So here they got 3 frags in the previous round, 3 frags in round number 2, meaning the economy is very fragile, as you can see, for Reason. So should M80 come out here and win the round, they'll probably have at least one after that they'll be able to convert against a very light buy, assuming that no bomb plants come through. We'll see. Malbs waiting here over at lane. That's going to toss a smoke into apartments. What a shot from Grape as Malbs wide swung around the corner. Wolfie does get the immediate trade though, so that will settle things down. Manx finds one onto Grape, 4v3. Dangerous, J-Dubs, and Beaky. Well, they're spread out, and they're going to try and regroup here towards the B site. There's a lot of pressure that Dane can put on here from CT. It is being watched by Manx, so that means Swisher is left alone to defend the site. Oh, is Manx going to double back here? Just wants to get some util thrown.
He's expecting him upstairs already. Dane coming in through CT. Will he go church? Manx is watching for it. Surely he's gone down. Swisher now stuck at pillar. He does take the first guy out. Looking around, stuck and caught. Nowhere for him to escape to. A split coming in, one banana, one coming in through CT. Flashing in for
Good
Wolfie
flash.
too. That's a great one. Wreck not expected at all. And now it's all up to Beaky, stuck on site, crossing over towards Coffins. He's got an eye on his backside. He's getting spammed. Wolfie knows where he is. Wolfie is also expected here. 1v1, opt for Beaky. Young Wreck taps, spots. Beaky's got the op shot. Beaky clutches up again for Reason. He is carrying this team right now.
That is so difficult, right? If you're Beaky in that situation, you know a player is tapping you down, he's connected on you twice, but you keep your focus entirely on your flank, realizing that, and of course recognizing that Wolfie, the opper, is behind you, so you know what you're going up against. He jiggle peeks a little bit, forces Wolfie to miss a shot, taps him down to 40, and then finishes the job afterwards. What a beautiful play from Beaky, and picks up the op for himself and gets the last player in wreck. That is just a sequence and a half, as Reason are on 4 in a row. The first time I believe they've won 4 rounds in a row in this series.
I think you're right. Yeah, because they had the 3-round start, and that was the best they had.
Exactly.
Wow.
Okay. That is a stunning result, especially considering it was kind of trending towards M80.
This is a great start for M8 or for a Reason here. M80 not really able to do much, but Wreck will continue their pistol damage. Looking for another. He's got an op to work with. Wolfie from Apps has domed another.
What is happening?
Oh no, Beaky, can he save the day again? Can he be the hero? He is going to be the hero, but is he enough? Wreck with a molly kill. Swisher and Manx working their way in from brackets. Utility holding off towards lane. Beaky backing in towards Big Pit. J-Dubs on site, 56 HP. Manx in Apps with a deagle in hand. Beaky on the angle. Swisher waiting for Manx to make a move. Smoke out, fade in, Beaky chunked, but down goes Manx. Counter utility, Swisher on the op. Only a little bit, he's gonna try and escape a Beaky again. Holy moly, how do you stop him? 11-0 for the Beaky Rifler, for the Reason Rifler. Beaky,
Yeah.
he's an unstoppable force.
I mean, yeah, he's unbreakable. No one can kill him. Unbelievable. Timeout going to be called here from M80, and certainly a lot to talk about given how things have gone. Yes, that round was just 5-7s that were purchased up by M80, so the result was kind of expected to go in Reason's favor, but they've been so close on their eco rounds so many times that they're probably saying, guys, we could easily have taken 2-3 rounds into this map. So we'll see what happens here now that they're back onto a full-on buy-up. 3 M4s, the A1S, and the AWP. But Beaky has been the strongest player for this Reason squad since they formed, or since they were picked up by Reason, I should say. Over the last 10 games played, he leads the team with 197 frags, plus 21 kill to death differential, 82.1 ADR, and a KDR of 1.12. So he is certainly one to watch out for as we continue here in this series, and they'll need him to play like this if they hope to push this to a map number 3.
Yeah, this is a fantastic start for Reason, and they're making T-Side Inferno work for them incredibly well. M80 not able to mount a single response. Now, the question is, if Beaky cools off or if M80 find a counter, is there somebody else to step up and do the same job? Because Beaky is the reason why Reason are up 5-0.
Yes, no question. I mean, they would have been down. They would have lost that 4th round without Beaky.
100%.
And then
if not a
even
couple
followed. As well. Rek is going to go out here with Maltz. Maltz gets 1, a second. Rek finds a 3rd, and in the meantime, Manx actually got Dangerous as well. So it's all Walker required here to pull off a round victory. And, well, I don't know if there's much of a chance that with the bomb dropped at the feet of M80, he might already be thinking about a save. He's rotating around, checking his flank, and yeah, I don't see Walker doing much more. So good hold finally by M80 as Reason tried to come out of the apartments and explode outwards. The thing is, well, once Beaky was finally dropped, no one else really pitched in.
Well, yeah, Beaky down first, and the end result, kind of what we were expecting. No result for Reason. And the save from Walker, too, just goes to show how much economic damage Reason has been sucking up because of how much M80 been able to do on the pistols. Just absolute obliteration. Even in the rounds they've been able to scrape by. It's not going to be a great buy for Reason at all. Galil's, maybe an AK on Beaky if he sacrifices full utility. J-Dubs can get a Tech 9 or a Mac 10.
Looking at that loss bonus.
I don't like a buy here.
No, I was going to say probably a half buy will come through. They can invest in the Tech 9, some Deagles, and they have the AK to work around. So that's probably what's going to happen. Even less so. In fact, Dane and J-Dubs don't buy anything at all. Walker can't because he has no money. He just sticks with the AK. And you have the 2 upgraded pistols, a P250 for Beaky, Grape with a Deagle. Interesting decision making here from Reason. As M80 are looking to go on a bit of a run for themselves, not getting the results they expected in the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, M80 need to go on a run here now. If they don't, then Reason might end up shipping us off to a 3rd. But M80 also have an opportunity to stop this before it gets out of control. They have deep banana control. Swisher and Wolfie with that op up towards half wall. Swisher into a mailbox. He's going to get Walker for free here, but Wolfie gets caught by Walker beforehand. That's a big issue here. In comes a spray from Swisher, but he's only got 2. 3v3 in a site open. Manx is running as fast as he can. Knife out. Mob joining late to the party. Utility coming through. Molotov will buy time, but now there's guns in the hands of Reason. They do not have armor, do not have utility. All they have is to fight. And Dangerous removed. Much less dangerous situation now for M80. Manx around the corner. Beaky with the op, holding in towards Malbs. Beaky, can he do it again? Can he be the man? He will not this time. Grape in a 1v2. Removed by Malbs. Recovery was well done by M80, but the cost to their economy, incredibly high. Far from ideal round from the CT side, and a bit of a confidence booster from Reason.
I think the economy on both sides really hasn't stabilized at all, so neither team able to get that economic foundation. Probably the first one that does will be the one to take the edge here in this first half, and Reason already with 5 have a great opportunity on their hands in that case. 4 AKs and the Tech 9 going to come through on their side. M80, the big green, 2 AKs picked up from that previous round, an A4 and an MP9, or a few rounds ago. They got those AKs. Mobs and Wolfie going back towards the A side. One thing I loved in that previous round was Manx just full on sprinting to the B site, had the Molotov out the whole time and said, I got to get this down to the ground and stop their push. And it does exactly that, which gives you that breathing room to set up the B site defense. Without that Molotov and the timing of it, Reason get to B and potentially win the round. So well done from the IGL for M80. Swisher's going to cross an incendiary of his own right at the feet of J-Dubs. J-Dubs has to use the smoke. He gives away his position down to 43 HP as well. That's banana control lost for the moment by Reason.
Yeah, banana control gone. They do have a little bit of brackets, a little bit of holes, but overall, they're kind of stuck to the extremities here. M80 just buying time. Similar to what they were doing on Anubis towards the tail end, just using stall utility, waiting for Reason to hit a site with very little time left on the clock, and a 3-stack towards B. M80 reading this well. Swisher peeking, sees nothing. The take will come through. He crosses in towards the open, back in front. He takes down 1, but only 1. Beaky with a trade. Beaky doing it again. Dane is on the lurk. Manx and Malbs to hold down the B site. Double M's for M80. Can they do the job as Dane still lurks around? The op is holding. The Malbs has to do better. Spray so much damage taken, and J-Dubs gets 1. The MP9 can do it all. Wreck. He does take the lurker out. Inside Orange's plant as Beaky has 2 kills. He's alive. And that means Reason have a chance in this 2v2.
Jeez. Down to 14 HP. Peeks around the corner, goes down to Wolfie's off. Beaky while the last one's standing. He needs to do another clutch here. A 1v2 required. Gets the first and the second. Beaky wow is good for another 4K. 6-2 in favor of Reason.
All right. So, Beaky alive equals Reason win. Beaky dead equals Reason loss.
Man, Beaky. This is some unbelievable stuff. And I mean, we're not talking about slouches here in M80. He's pulling this off against some of the top players in NAECL.
Yeah, he's doing incredibly well, and his positioning has been good. His spray control has been immaculate. No wasted shots, no wasted movement. It is a technical display of excellence from Beaky right now. And he's done it with the M4s, he's done it with the op, he's on the op right now. And we have a technical pause now.
Yeah. Oh, who did we lose? I think someone from Reason. Is that Walker? No, Walker's still here. Because I was going to say
Everyone's still here.
Walker was having some power issues before. No, I just saw someone go off screen there. I
Oh.
have Dane, Beaky, Grape, and Walker, meaning we're missing Dane. No, not Dane. My mind is blanking here. J-Dubs.
Yep, J-Dubs.
There we go. It always happens, right? When the player drops, you're like, who is that fifth
Yeah.
player that's on the squad? No, but J-Dubs appears to have disconnected from the server. So we're going to wait for him to come back. But yeah, I mean, we can talk more about Beaky. I'm assuming, I think it was initially a tactical pause. Either way, M80 can talk about how do we stop Beaky? Like, that is the mission right now, because he is the one that is winning rounds for a reason. This scoreline could easily be reversed if it weren't for Beaky. Wow, honestly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is the Beaky show right now. He is doing it all for a reason. And M80 have not been playing poorly, necessarily. They have not been able to close things out, but they have not been playing poorly. Far from it. They've done so much damage. It's just Beaky is on another level currently. He is 1 kill shy of 2.0 per round. He's got a 7.5 KD. They've lost 2 rounds. He's died 2 rounds. That just tells you how much impact the man has been having.
It's wild. I mean, it's a plus 13 kill to death differential, 152 ADR. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's hard, nigh impossible to keep up this kind of pace, but Beaky's done it for 8 straight rounds. Eventually, you have to think he's going to cool off, but sometimes you get those special performances where a player doesn't cool off and they play this well for the entirety of the map. Maybe, just maybe, we're seeing that materialize here in the early moments of Inferno. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see if that does come to fruition. As it stands right now, I think J-Dubs is back in the server, and we're probably going to need a medic, I assume. Maybe not. I mean, the round didn't start.
Don't think they're getting a medic.
It looks like they're still having some lag.
Yeah.
All
Which isn't
right.
great.
No, decidedly not great.
This could also cool Beaky off entirely.
It could. That's true. That's true. I mean, he's doing so well, and now he has to sit there. Maybe he's got to do some hand stretches and exercises to keep himself warm and get going. I would even say go into like aim trainer or something.
Yeah, I would say pull up your second PC, you know, that everyone has lying around.
Exactly. Wow. I mean,
your
I don't know if
identical
everyone has it
setup
lying around, but maybe he does. But yeah, I'll tab and go into aim trainer. Like I said, aim labs, whatever, whatever you need to do. Either way, guys, I think we're going to take a quick break here because we want to see, well, it's probably going to take a little bit longer, so we'll wait for J-Dubs to come back in. When he does, we'll be back into action here between M80 and Reason. And maybe now we'll go to break, guys. We're here. We're just lurking in the shadows. But now we will, of course, be going to a break. See you guys in just a little bit.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Break up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, hurt you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you.
All you need is a little break sometimes, and then everything sorts itself out. As it looks like the lag is gone, everyone's ready to play once more. Reason? Well, they're hoping that that little pause won't slow down BQWow, who has been lights out incredible so far. 2 FAMASas, 2 MP9s, and a 5.7 on the M80 spy here. They seem to have talked it over and said, you know what, let's try things out here and see if we can pull it off. They are pretty effective on their 4 spies, and this one, you know, with 2 FAMASas isn't looking too bad.
No, it's not too bad at all. The MP9s on Inferno, not a bad option either. So for M80 right now, they still have a reasonable option to pull off a round victory. Reason's buy isn't the greatest for a T side. Wolfie gets a little bit of volley damage to help out. The jumping Walker will mow him down, though. Lots of damage taken, but still that space gain for the T side. FAMAS in towards Big Pit, or Mini Pit actually at the current moment, but no, he slept on site. The rotation's coming through. Reason still stalling about. They have to get towards a site sometime or other very nearly quickly. The Swisher just about catches Dane off. Wreck. There's the first opening, relatively clean. Sprays away on the Dangerous as well. Going for the third. He's got them all from Coldbot. The no-scope from Beaky, only good for one. He falls, and so does Reason. Gun upgrades for M80, and the long period of time between rounds 7 and 8 or rather 8 and 9 means M80 get a fantastic individual play, and Beaky seems to have been put out a little bit.
Oh my goodness, that was such a great play from Rek over at Boost Spot. In the corner of the A site, he gets one, and then there was the player that came around the corner, had a chance to take down Rek, just didn't fire the shots, and Rek says, all right, flicks back around and takes care of business, and then has the wherewithal to go immediately back to his right and find a third frag. It took a wall bang from Beaky Wow to take him down to dirt, but at the end of the day, that's the only frag that Reason get. Third round found for M80, the force buy justified, and they get some free upgrades off the ground into Galil. So that's great news for them. Over on the other side, Reason, their economy continues to be kind of poor, right? Because they aren't winning rounds cleanly. It's Beaky Wow's clutches that are getting them across the finish line. Wolfie, waiting with the AWP over at Moto, gets flashed out and smoked out as well, so he's going to have to fall back in the library. He's kind of exposed. They can pincer him with the pistols and take him down and get an op upgrade. Malbs, yeah, Malbs sees him go in, and Wolfie has just no chance at all. Beaky's got the op back in his hands.
Oh, disgusting shot from Malbs, just sitting back sight. He had one head to hit, and he hit them both. Manx holding for the CT rotation. Dane is going to cross over first. Spotted out. Manx will be scoped down upon by Grape. The op will not let him, or rather the flash won't let him escape the op. Well trained on his position. Swisher with a very tough task now. Spots on the first. He does get the first. Molotov in towards a new box. He spots behind smoke. That will only last a moment longer in this 3v3. Swisher behind the flames. Good flash thing from his teammates. Rek supporting. Swisher still alive. Everyone blinded. But can he get more? Malbs has come through to bail out his buddy. And Grape tosses the op out of the map as he sees no chance at victory. He's put down by Malbs. And 2 fast rounds back for M80. But still, Reese are getting a lot of space on this T side. They're able to get into CT spawn quite consistently, which is not a good sign for the M80 side.
One thing that's good, though, for M80 is their utility usage. That's something that ATK as a squad was pretty good at, but now having M80 take over, and of course Manx in particular, take care of the IGL duties, their emphasis on util and the efficiency of it has gone up exponentially. And if you can see the stats, of course, coming into this match, definitely represent that. Manx, 1.08 flashes thrown per round, and Wolfie 1.07 flashes thrown per round. Malbs is third at 0.87, but having 2 players above a flash thrown per round is crazy. And not to mention, Wolfie 0.16 flash assists per round. The stats are incredible for them. And in that case, it wasn't even those 3. It's Rek who comes in with a perfect flash to support Swisher, allowed to get around the corner. Manx gets the opener here, traded out by Grape. It's just Glocks. Damage done. They won't be able to get the rifle off the ground. Swisher knows they're coming quick. Got the logs. 1, 2, not a third. A little laboring on the spray there against J-Dubs. So Dane manages to get a frag. Wolfie misses a couple of shots. He can go down 2. This is just Glocks again. Galil picked up for Grape. Malbs trying to close the gap. Smoke thrown here. Wolfie, flashbang out. He's stuck over at New Box. The flank is coming in from Rek. They expect it, but it doesn't matter. Rek takes down Dane. That leaves only Grape standing, who's in a very tough spot. But considering they brought absolutely nothing into this round, it's impressive they even got 2 frags.
Yeah, I mean, they could even get a third still potentially, which would be phenomenal. Still, 2 is already good. Grape, will he be able to get anything extra? Doesn't look likely. But he's still dancing around. Just die before time. That's his main objective here.
Yeah.
There he goes.
All right.
We're almost tied, John.
Yeah, we are. 6-1 in favor of Reason. That's 4 in a row for the M80 squad. Malbs nodding up and down saying, yeah, you're doing pretty well, boys. Nice recovery. And one thing there that, I mean, that said, that round was a little bit scary for M80, just Glocks coming out, and they were losing bodies. Wolfie missing a couple of shots, very uncharacteristic for him. Hasn't had the best start to Inferno. but because he does, they almost drop him. If Wolfie dies there, oh my goodness, Reason might have taken that round in such an unlikely way. Stays alive, and the flank comes in. I like the idea there from at the end of the round by the last surviving player for Reason, because he was thinking, okay, I go out, maybe I can get this this frag on the flank and then rotate myself to the A site, but M80 wasn't giving him anything to work with.
2 kills since Beaky had the long pause. His own teammate lagging out. Might have ended up killing off the momentum Reason had worked so hard to gain. Rather, Beaky had worked so hard to gain. About a minute to go, and no real ground taken by Reason. They're taking this so slow with not a lot of utility left to work with. And maybe are able to just kind of hang out. They got plenty of util. They got a few mollies left. They got some nades going in. That's a nice first starter. In goes Grape, and down goes Grape. Wreck might even get a second for his trouble. No, still gets the one. Reason are just stalled out.
Yeah. They're stuck here. Okay, that's going to help. J-Dubs gets one. The thing is, on the other side, Manx drops Beaky, so their top frag is deleted. Wolfie takes care of J-Dubs. Walker and Dane, well, they arrive a little bit too late to try and find a trade there. Flashbang's going to get thrown. Wolfie's completely blinded, but he manages to escape. Manx jumps up on Coffins, takes care of Walker and Dane, and that's all she wrote for the round. 6-6, all tied up. It was 6-1. And then a technical issue occurred. J-Dubs having some internet issues, had to reconnect. And since that point, Beaky Wow, who was 15-2 when the match was paused, is now 2-4 since that point. I mean, I'm not saying that the pause is the reason why Beaky might have lost his rhythm a little bit. M80 are a very good squad, but it makes you wonder.
Well, John, we're going to have a longer break.
Oh.
Yeah, we're server swapping. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's going to take some time, I would imagine.
I would as well.
I mean, look, 5 rounds in a row for M80. Perhaps Reason saying, look, J-Dubs has terrible internet. He's only got 3 frags. He could have way more if his internet was better. So, or at least the connection to the server is kind of poor. So we'll have to be going to a new server, I guess.
Yeah, so I think we're going to be a little bit. We're going to be a minute here before we can actually get back into games. So we're going to head to another magical pause, and hopefully it's not going to be too long, but stick around and stay tuned, folks, because the conclusion of Inferno and perhaps even some Overpass coming up when we return.
All right, new server, same score, 6-6, all tied up. We have a pause immediately though, so I don't know if that's a bad omen. I'm assuming that things will get sorted out shortly. Maybe just have to make sure that the money is in the right place. Who knows what's being discussed right now? But M80 have all the momentum. As mentioned before we went to the break, 5 rounds in a row. Looking at that scoreboard, again, it's very evenly spread out, which is great news for them because it means that all 5 players on M80 are playing pretty well. Wolfie, a little slow start, but he started to find his shots over the last few. And then you have Mobs leading the charge at 12. Everyone else, Swisher, Manx, and Rek at 10 frags apiece.
Yeah, it's been a very even scoreline, really, for M80, aside from Wolfie, who is uncharacteristically sitting towards the bottom. Reason has been carried by Beaky. There's been a little bit of impact here from there from Grape and Walker, but for the most part, it's been the Beaky show. And he's essentially the sole reason why they have 6 rounds on the board. M80 have had a lot more teamwork that has gone into their round victories. Swisher, big plays. Malbs, big plays. Manx with amazing holds. Rat coming in with that hold towards top of box on side as well. That 3K with Famas. So there's been a lot more diversity in success from M80. And Reason, relying on one lone man from the top, it's not exactly a recipe that'll get you long-term success. And that's been shown now. A couple timeouts, a couple pauses, a couple technical issues had to be sorted out. And we return to Inferno here, all tied up at 6 apiece. Wolfie with that op looking to get himself activated. Spots the one running down, but he gets dinked on the drive-by by J-Dubs. Wolfie, that op is not connecting for him. And yeah, Tech9 running, very dangerous.
Yeah, so again, I guess the struggles continue for Wolfie here on the CT side. I mean, it's really the only opportunity, or some of the only opportunities he'll have to be comfortable with the AWP, because on T side of Inferno, it's not often teams don't even run the big green. Anyway, Rek's going to see Grape drop right in front of his face, and then Malbs drops J-Dubs on the other side from Moto. So a 5v3 comes through. M80 rotating back to get some reinforcements to the B site, expecting a rotation to come through. It does. Gets one, gets a second, and Manx gets the third, making it look easy on the M80 side as they have 6 in a row.
Nice and easy there for M80. Perfect round victory. Couple upgraded pistols too. Now they have the lead as we get into the last couple of rounds. The anti-penultimate finished. The penultimate now. Full util. Not so much for Reason. Walker a little bit lighter. Everybody else is a nice belt. But it is essentially the last ditch buy for Reason. They do have max loss, but the lack of a bomb plant would put them behind the 8 ball in terms of a last round buy-up if they lose this one. And they certainly don't want to go down 9-6 again. I think that would be best case avoided. Beaky able to avoid the molly damage with that smoke. Wolfie another shot down range. This time boosted up. Still can't connect him. Getting him activated is going to be critical for M80 on the T side, because the op on the T side, as you mentioned, John, not exactly a very common deal. No. Walker makes it work.
Yeah, Walker be walking. There we go. Manx goes down to the ground. Swisher, the only one left. He's got the Molotov well thrown, and isolating some fights for him. There's one flashbang thrown to support. J-Dub dropped up. They're looking for Swisher. They know he's here, finally taking down all the attention in this direction. Malbs, in the meantime, does manage to find the trade. 3v2 in favor of Reason. Bomb site taken, but bomb dropped at the front of the site. They're a little wary of trying to retrieve it because they don't know where they are. Oh, he's going for new box, but J-Dub comes out and gets wrecked in the fire and the flames, leaving only Wolfie left standing. He does manage to make it a 1v2. Great flashbang thrown, and Walker seals the deal, and he finishes what he started. 3 frags for him on the round, and we won't have another 9-6, Austin, as we're tied up 7-7.
We're going to get an 8-7. Now, which direction will it lie? Will it go advantage M80 or advantage Reason? It almost needs to be Reason's advantage for their own sake, or else they are going to be looking down the barrel of a very important pistol round. Not that they've struggled on pistols, mind you, but it always helps to get that lead. The op from Wolfie did get one, but only one. Walker, good impact with his last round. Starting to come alive more. Wolfie takes another shot. It does not connect. He goes Beacon. He's blinded. Walker burning low and lower. Fade in. Will finish the job. There's one for Wolfie. Well done, M80 to get the opening pick. Still sticking around for this banana fight. Swisher, a lot of damage taken, but it's now a 5v3.
Yeah, I don't mind them sticking around. Beaky, though, touchdown over on Swisher. Nice nade toss. So at least makes it only a man advantage for M80, but they're going to give up on Banana. I like the fact that M80 stuck around Banana a little bit longer, because the reason why Reason was even able to get that previous round is because M80 were more passive and kind of forced off of the angle time after time. Reason. 3 players all grouped up here heading towards Arch side. But they're going to be spotted. They have to throw a smoke here for Arch, otherwise Manx is going to see them cross over. Manx, yep, there's the spot. So he's going to call it to his teammates that it's likely a hit coming from Arch. The smoke goes out as a result, but it's not that great. There's a gap on the right side, a glaring one that J-Dub is going to be able to peek through. Rec tosses a one-way for himself. I'm not sure if he might have flubbed that smoke. Either way, Mobs is on the site proper. Here comes Reason. Mobs gets one, and the second finally goes down, but 2 is such a great result. J-Dub's 2 of his own to at least make a plant viable. He's going to get that, but he still has to deal with both Wolfie and Manx, so another clutch required for Reason.
It's not Beaky, but it's J-Dubs needing the 1v4. Wolfie blinded. It's a team clutch, actually. That smoke will fade. Manx needs to work with his teammate. Wolfie gets pushed on. And J-Dubs hits the dirt. An 8-7 lead for M80 going to the T side of Inferno. Might not be the easiest side of things, but M80, they showed a great T side on Anubis. Can they do it on Inferno 2 and 2-0 this one? Find out when we return from the break.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
in the atmosphere, moving in synergy. This scene.
Back in. As close as it gets at the end of that first half. 8-7 in favor of M80, who squeaked past Reason. Trying to make a more dominant showing on this second half of action. They only allowed Reason one CT round on Anubis when they were going that second half with a similarly close scoreline at 9-6. Let's hope for Reason's sake that they can pull off more than that lone pistol round victory. They have been flawless on pistol rounds. So let's see if that changes here.
Yeah, they've been real good on the pistols, and not much else. They've been struggling a bit with everything other than pistols, and it starts off even 50-50, 3v3 as time wears on. Bomb down on the site, Manx slips on through. Malbs and Wreck posting up in Big and Mini Pit respectively. Walker has a decoy fall right in front of him. That was going to be a smoke for a second there, but the decoy tried to be a fake flash. Beaky peeking up, Grape and Walker moving up through the lane. The nade, that could do a lot of damage. Doesn't do any at all. That's unfortunate. Now down to 2. Grape up on balcony. He's gone down. Walker 1v3, and it's a none v2 as M80 get their first pistol round of this series. And it could not come at a worse time for Reason.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And honestly, that's a tough spot for Reason to be in. Grape in particular, right? You're on balcony. If you don't get that pit player, you're so exposed to everyone else once you're spotted out. And you saw the result, right? Misses the shot. Pit player goes back into cover, and the A-side players just demolish him, leaving Walker to fend for himself, and he was not able to overcome that 1v3. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Reason, if ever there was a time where they actually needed the pistol round, Wolfie gets tagged immediately. Malbs comes to his rescue and takes down Walker. Dane's trying to recover the scout, but as he does, his head gets blown off by Malbs' AK. 5v3 right off the docket. Grape and Beaky both trying to work around here, and Grape actually does get the headshot onto Malbs, so maybe M80 think twice and go back to the B site. I think they're already perhaps too committed in their minds to go into these fights and try to get it. There's Wreck finding Grape. Beaky's still doing damage. Beaky gets another one. 2v2. Beaky, oh my goodness, if he found Wreck, that could have been the round, but he does so much damage. J-Dubs only needs to hit one deagle shot on both Wolfie and Wreck, and this round belongs to Reason. J-Dubs gets one on Wreck. That means it's Wolfie left standing, and he doesn't have the bomb. J-Dubs looking for a gun on the ground, but he doesn't even need it. He's holding the right angle. Wolfie's walking into him. J-Dubs, can he hit the shot? Oh no, he looks away. He looked away. He gets timing by Wolfie. Had it on a silver platter, but unable to get that clutch. Wow. Again, though, the reason they're in that situation, Austin, is Beaky.
Yep. Again, it's Beaky doing all the work. And M80 are lucky to get away with that one. The low HP on the last 2 players, a very winnable one for J-Dubs. He just got timing in the end there. Unfortunate. He started to think, oh, maybe Wolfie's coming around the lane side, the arch side, and he just shows. He shows behind the boxes. He's crossing over, and the nade stack is now on for a reason. It's their one chance here to get something done. USPs on all 5. 1 nade rains in. Another 3 still remain. 1 more still towards Banana, though. That could do some damage. Out it goes. Molotov goes a little bit short. I don't think that was intended there from M80. But they still get Beaky down first and foremost. That's a big victory for the T side. Molotov to clear out view box. Rotations coming in from Reason. That M80 should have no issue with securing this round and going up by 4.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if there's any type of threat here. There are the 2 nades, and now would be a good time to throw them. Now would be a good time to throw them. All right. Eventually, they're going to toss those nades on forward. We'll see if it actually does any damage. And, well, they're still hanging on. There we go. Finally tossed them. There's damage done against Mags. A lot of it, but he's the only player who really gets hit by them at all, even though he's down to 7 HP. Walker and Gray, only with the USP, should be handily dealt with, and they are. Malbs and Swisher take care of it. 11-7 in favor of M80.
5 to win it for M80. 4 to tie it for Reason. Full buyout. Walker on the op. He's been good with it in this map, and Wolfie has not exactly been up to the same level he was on Anubis. There's a good chance he can get a little bit of action, though, if anyone wants to peek from the Reason side. I'm surprised that M80 are rolling with the op so early on the attack. We'll see how it works out. There's 3 Galils, 2 behind it, and Wolfie is bought down to everything he's worth. This is a very interesting decision. And if he's just going to sit and watch him top mid, not sure how I feel about it.
Right now, just posted up, waiting for pushes to come through. He will be joining his teammate over at Banana. That's Swisher. Nade toss forward. Reason, they are on a buy up again. 3 A1Ss, the A4, and the AWP. Actually, shouldn't say again, they are on a buy up for the first time in this half. J-Dubs, the lone anchor at B. M80 have found decent success at A so far. I was thinking they can replicate it, even with the rifles up. Malbs takes a little bit of damage. Beaky, ooh, eats the nade down to 49 HP, and now he'll have to fall off that angle. That means Arch side is free and clear for the taking. M80 smoking off library, which means they're probably going to work that side. Oh, it's going to be a pincer to B.
Oh, I love it. I love B pincers. This is one of my favorite Inferno strats, so if you're ever playing against me, now you know. But this is just always so fun to execute properly. Missed shot from Walker. In comes the CT flank. Down goes the op. And J-Dubs follows. Makes and mauls. Making it work. Beaky removed on site. Bomb going down. Save call initiated for Reason. B split is perfect from M80. And what Reason attempted to do and struggled with in the first half, M80 do it perfectly in their first attempt.
Yeah. I mean, look, M80's success on T side largely in part comes with how good they are at getting opening frags. Rec in particular has some ridiculous stats in the first 4 maps. 32% of attempts on the T side openers. Oh no, Grape! Oh, he stands in the Molotov, has nowhere to go, and burns alive. Dane goes down as well. Oh my goodness. M80 take care of business. Sorry, back to my point. On the T side, Rec has 32% of the attempts going for openers. 87.5% of success with 32% attempts means he has a 2.0 rating coming into this series. That is the highest rating I've seen, even looking at the first 4 maps. Sometimes you get crazy stats. That's still insane to me. And it just exemplifies why M80 are so good on their T side and have given up so few rounds.
Yeah, they're just... when they're on, when they're hitting everything, when they're playing properly, they don't miss.
No.
And the thing is just getting that more consistent for M80 right now. It's just generating the cohesion they need to really operate at their full capacity. It's getting more and more used to each other. And it's just ironing out the bugs. They still are a relatively new team with not too many matches played. And I'm thinking if they get the opportunity to go over across the pond, that'll be even better for them. Malbs and Swisher already have that experience. Wolfie and Manx obviously do as well with time in EU. Rec is one who could use with a little more EU experience, but as a roster, I think that would just catapult them to a whole nother level.
Well, I mean, we're also going to find out if they're going to go to Australia, right?
That is true. We do have the qualifier starting Thursday.
I think they're a heavy favorite.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, I have them versus Naps. So.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And that one's going to be a good one. Cynic's back on now.
All right, that team is
That roster's so good. It really is.
Yeah.
Swisher gets the opener here on to Beaky. J-Dubs gets tagged down to 24. He's gone for cover over in Church. And I mean, at this point, Reason might just want to say whatever they've got. They're so very out of position. maybe hoping for some exits. That would be a best case scenario. Rex watching the bottom of Banana for M80, which is their exit route. Malbs takes down Grape, spots down Walker as well. And I mean, yeah, this is just M80 being so very clinical in all of their clears, and that will be that. Round is done. 13-7 in favor of M80, and only Dangerous survives with a lone 5-7.
Don't think he's going to do anything with this one. He's going to try and save, which I don't really know the point of saving the 5-7 no armor at this point. I'd try and go for an exit, but it doesn't really affect anything in the grand scheme. It's just a bit of a nitpick. And M80, 3 away now and is looking smoother and smoother. Attack pause used by Reason. Surprisingly, they're first. They used 3 of 4 in the last map. And here on Inferno, this is the first time they're calling the pause. They have a buy. They have money. Do they double op here? Walker and Beaky double op would be a pretty staunch hold, I think. But it's also a big risk, too. You lose the round. It's pretty much going to torpedo your economy fully. But it's not like you aren't in that situation anyways.
I think at this point, Austin, you got to take a gamble. And I think a double op, if they want to go for it, why not? You know, you can have one op watching from mid, maybe even put them in pit if you want to, and then another one over on the B side of Banana. They're still considering it, and the decision is made not to go for that. So the solo op for Walker. J-Dubs likely going to upgrade to the rifle. There it goes. 3A1S and the A4. And Wolfie's been running the off the entirety of this T side. In fact, has looked more effective on his T side than the C side. Not the usual case. Great. Coming around the corner, spots player board, smoke blooms, and Swisher's dead to rights. 5v4, a little bit of damage taken by himself. And J-Dubs also down to about half health, but they're happy to find that opener and fend off a push to Banana. Oh, Walker's going to have his hands full. He peeks around the corner at the right time, up close and personal, drops Mobs, flashbang out, and trade. Yes, finally. Manx gets one back, but he's immediately dropped to dirt by Dane.
4v2 hold from Reason, looking very strong on this CT side after the timeout. There's a big one from Rek, though. Do they expect the stairs player? No, they don't. It's Beaky. Of course it is. But Rek trying to do his best Beaky impression. Up on top of mid-side box, on top of Tall, but he gets dropped by Beaky. Op recovered, and Reason hold out. They stay alive here, and they're going to look to do a little more damage.
Hopefully for their sake. That's only their second CT round 1 in 2 maps.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they got 7 last half.
Yeah. So, Beaky, I mean, that's just a great awareness play by him, because I thought it was a great decision from Rek to go for jump in on the top of that box, because it subverts expectations. You expect the peak to come around the corner. The thing is, Beaky just too quick, and Rek unable to fire the shots and finish him off. So, Reason finally get one. The thing is, as mentioned, M80 had tons of cash. They were flush with cash. 4 AKs, and the op come through immediately with the full as well. Beaky peeks around the corner. Manx takes the mutual. Rek comes out, and oh no, they were playing for that. Dane takes him down, and now an upgrade for him to an AK.
Still a lot of banana control. Still opportunity here for M80 if they hurry, but Grape is actually making his way through. J-Dub is boosted up top. Nade will not do anything. Flash, no, it's not there, and Swisher goes down. J-Dub has the second one to the tally. Grape spraying away. Wolfie team kills.
Oh.
Timeout M80.
Absolutely. That was a very clean round from Reason. Not what we expected, given how this second half has gone, but perhaps this is their reawakening. Just needed that one round. That one clutch attempt by Rek, shut down by Beaky. Maybe they'll hit double digits here up against M80. Although, again, it's still another buy-up coming through from M80. Wolfie going to want to make sure he hits the opposing team this time. As Molotov comes up from Swisher to try and gain that top banana control. It is going to fend off Reason. And you see Swisher peeking around, maybe thinking that someone is going to try pushing past the half wall after the Molotov fades. They do not. Very passive hold right now from Reason on both sides of the map. They're giving up all the control into mid. Both players either on site or in pit on that A hold.
Triple stack towards B. We've seen a lot of that this game. Swisher just trying to bait somebody to push. Has to back away behind the Molotov with smoke to cover his escape. Keep him from burning alive. Rotation back towards A. M80 looking to sprint their way up. Full brackets control. Only 2 players here. The nade does a tiny bit on the Malbs. Dane and Mini great on site. That's a chunky nade from, I believe that was Manx who tossed it up towards Carr. Swisher and Manx going in for this take towards Banana. Boost up spots the op. Spray is messy, but it works. Swisher, can he get something? No, it's Beaky with 2. And now the bomb stuck in middle. The man disadvantage for M80. They try and get a little too cute with it. They do get the bomb, but it's going to cause a lot of time lost here. They've got to move. Sub 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They've got no ground.
24 seconds now. Rek is going to be the most important player in the situation with the utility he's going to toss out. Smoke thrown, flash as well. He's trying to ensure that Mobs can have a path to the site, and he does exactly that. 3v for Mobs. Dane and Mini Pick goes down as well. It's the Guatemalan taking care of business once more. 28 frags for him as J-Dubs does come back and make it a 2v2. He creeps his way up lane. Almost ducking all the way. Finally stands up. Wolfie's watching for it. Nade sails through. I don't think that's going to deter Wolfie. He does go down to 38, but he's got his eyes set here. They're going to need a flashbang. They don't have it. Oh, they actually flash throw. Doesn't matter. Mobs takes care of the last 2. A quad kill comes out.
That's Mobs 30, by the way.
Wow.
He's overtaken Beaky and got to 30. Mobs is having himself a moment here on Inferno. He's always been a good Inferno player.
Yeah, but this is something else. He actually hasn't. Sorry to interrupt you, Austin. He hasn't been the top frag on Inferno yet in ECL, at least the ECL season. So this is his first time. It was Rek the first time.
Well, I mean, given the firepower on M80, somebody's got to do it, and might as well be one of those 3.
He is the first one to break 30 though on Inferno for the squad.
There you go. We'll see what he ends at too, because there's still at least 2 more rounds to go, not more. Reason can stall this one out and push for overtime, or even they can still win this in regulation, albeit very hard. I like this Hulls take again from M80 though. They do have to deal with Grape up there, Falcon, but he's on the outside. Molotov clears out Porch. Mobs is on the prowl for more. Counter utility raining in from both sides, and a rotation back to B, perhaps, from the T's.
M80 actually did play EG outside of Challenger League, and Mobs had 37 frags there, so he's very good here, like you said. Also, Swisher gonna go down through the smoke. Good shot from Walker. J-Dub's waiting behind it, and he gets Manx, who pushes out haphazardly and pays the price. Mobs 15 HP. He's been so very good, but now he's extremely limited. They're going to have to rely on Rek to get some damage. Rek slips through, but he doesn't clear out CT, and Beaky is going to take that one. 18 seconds left. Wolfie and Mobs, not much money in the tank. Probably just going to try and save. The one danger is going down after time.
There's a couple HEs too. Mobs so low, he's skirting by, somehow alive. And Reason don't want to hunt. They don't exactly have a lot of money themselves, so they're not going to push the issue. M80 can buy around this. They will lack utility. Perhaps a fast play towards Hulls or up Banana. Something to get Mac 10s and pistols in close range. Or a quick explosion later on. It's going to have to be something with speed here for the T's. Tech 9 for Manx. Deagle for Swisher. Galil for Rek. There's a bit of something behind here, especially if you could pick up a rifle for Manx and Swish. It's all going to come down to that opening pick, though, which way it goes, and Wolfie's going to make a case for it to be an M80 start. He's going through the fire! Oh my gosh, he's so low. He's dead.
Oh.
What is that? Why?
I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, once you commit, you just go for it. Anyway, it might not matter. Manx gets the drive-by Tech 9 headshot onto J-Dubs. 4v4. The idea is good, right? Push up against the Molotov. Hope that you can find a target, but wait for the Molotov to disappear before you retreat. You just got to hold the angle. He couldn't do it. Oh, well. It happens. It happens to the best of us. 1:08 on the clock. Walker waiting here over at lane. Should have the first one. There it is. Creative. No. Filled up. Finally does go down, but it gives Dangerous a chance to recover and take down Mobs. 3v2. Slight edge for Reason. Swisher gets one, but he's down the last one. Standing, and the Molotov or the bullets. One of the two. We're going to take him down. Reason has got 11 now. Look at that money, Austin.
Oh, that money. What money?
Exactly.
I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. It's bad. It's really bad for M80. Swisher has a deagle. That's it. It's going to be Glocks. Glocks and Flash. The Ender's Flash coming through. And Reason, what are they going to be able to do to minimize their casualties here? Because M80 have done very well at getting at least a kill or two on the pistols. Reason need to not give M80 these 1v1 engagements. They need to hold their lines. That double up towards lane's a good start. The Molotov or Grape will not be chucked. Walker, don't peek the corner. Just hold your nerve.
I was going to say, I thought the idea would be to flash out Walker and go up lane. Looks like the flash is going to be held onto by Mob. And now Grape can get one. She's helping him. Yeah, it's all Reason. And only left is Rek, and that's not very long. Rek gets a Dane gets a 3K. And that'll do it. 12th round for Reason.
There we are. Good clean round from Reason. Their first clean anti-eco, if memory serves me right, too. And M80 going back on the guns. No op for Wolfie. And I feel like that's going to give M80 a lot more freedom. I don't feel like that's going to be anything to hamstring them. If anything, is going to give them a boost. They have more rifling, more freedom to work around. They can get rid of Walker with a good, well-placed flash or maybe a Molotov. They are going to have the boost to deal with, though, over the smoke. He doesn't take the shot. His back's away. That's a good decision to just hold his nerve. Not reveal the op's position on a very low percentage play. But M80, they get all that ground. They back off.
I think they're hoping that Reason will over-rotate to the B site there. Molotov thrown towards mid. There's the smoke for Arch. So this could easily lead to a fake from M80, but instead they full-on charge forward. No one's here. Dane gets the opening frag onto Rek, who was lurking in the apartments, and now Wolfie's trying to go back there and hopefully surprise Reason. But in the meantime, Dane is just farming. He's got two more. Tries for the third, pulls up the pistol as he runs out of bullets, but it's going to be Mobs taking him down, then Wolfie finding Grape, but Wolfie is in effectively what was a 1v4 that he's made a 1v3 for himself. J-Dubs over at Boiler. Wolfie has the bomb. He can plant it relatively safely. He needs to be solid with the AK. When it comes out, that's a bad time for it, and J-Dubs comes around the corner to drop him. That'll do it. 13th round for Reason.
13 rounds for Reason, 14 for M80. We are 1 round away from a tie. We are 2 rounds away from overtime guaranteed for Reason, 3 from pulling this back. It was 14-9. And it is getting very, very close. Oh boy, this is really danger time now for M80. They don't have the buy. They have nothing but pistols. They've failed to get much success as of late. They have not called a timeout. If they don't call a timeout going into this next round, I will be severely surprised and significantly disappointed. There's a Molotov tray, but it's a 1-for-1. No recoverable gun yet for the T's. Even if M80 win this round, I still want a timeout. Because the gun rounds have not been working.
Well, maybe they just don't want to call it. They want to keep rolling along. The B site's a good call here. They've got the util for it. Rek trying to make a little bit more noise towards the A side and keep them on that side a little bit longer. So yeah, it is Walker isolated effectively. He has to hit his shots, misses it, so this could easily lead to a bomb plant. In fact, it's pretty much guaranteed. I'd be surprised if Walker tries to reaggress here before the reinforcements arrive. It will be a tough hold because you have 2 players coming in from Banana, the other 2 from CT. So M80 are going to have their hands full, but they have managed to pick up an AK off the ground. Manx has that. Rex jump spotting over the half wall. I think Dane spotted him out. Yeah, he's going to hard clear this. There we go. Rek dropped. Mobs along with Wolfie, they're watching their flanks. And that AK, it's going to have to sing for Manx. He comes around that corner and gets up. Mob's last one standing, great, gets the 2K, and that's going to do it. Great retake from Reason, and we are indeed all tied up, 14-14. We're going the full 30.
Full 30 at a minimum. This is going on a little bit too long, perhaps, now. They've let him hang around. They've let Reason hang around far too long, John.
It's a little strange, right? Because of how dominant M80 has been in past Inferno matches. And then you see the ones like this that are so very tightly contested against the Bad News Bears, pretty close, 16-12. And then against EG, it was 22-20 in double overtime. So,
yeah,
you know, you got these ones that M80 are coming out with, I guess you could say, against tougher competition. But
you
still.
could. I mean, they did lose to Wildcard and Forsaken as well.
Right. Well,
it is curious.
It is, especially considering the control that they had, 14-9. Looked like everything was flowing well, and then Reason just put a stop to them. Walker's finally going to get flashed out of position here at lane, which is, again, what I thought they would do on their pistol round. Throw a flash, isolate him, get the frag. Either way, it still went pretty well for them on the eco, as they're going to readjust themselves, which they've typically been doing a lot, so perhaps Reason is getting a read on this. They have 2 players waiting over at the B site now.
It's going to be a B take, just to lurk up towards A. Rec trying to hold rotation. Now he bails in towards B. They go. Do they clear the boost? They don't clear the boost. They don't clear the Flowers boost. J-Dubs gets one. Manx gets the trade. Bomb will go down before the score. There is absolutely zero utility for M80 aside from that smoke. That will evaporate very quickly. A good amount of Reason left. A Molotov, 4 flashbangs, and an HE. All 4 players going CT side. Rec holding banana. That's one angle M80 do not need to worry about, but time is going to become a factor quickly. Molotov will bounce and not.
That was a weird molly.
Yeah, that goes short, I think. That's big, unfortunate for Reason. In goes Beaky, Wolfie up close. Takes an early shot, makes one. Malb's another. In comes Beaky. Can he do it again? He only got one. Malb shuts him down first. 34th of the game. Walker run down by Wolfie's Glock. An M80 secure round 15. Wolfie dies to the bomb. The op will not be available to him unless Malbs buys it. They go that route. One more round in regulation. We either see OT or we see a victor.
Yep. Series point for M80. Only one of them, though. Could have had way more. The Reason, full credit to them. They've been playing pretty solid. Beaky Wow in particular, right? He's 1 away from 30. 29-16. Just incredible stuff. Swisher gets taken down to 32 from some utility there. Tosses some of his own. And does a little bit of damage to J-Dub's Rec. Oh my goodness, the nades are on point for Reason so far in this round. As Rec's down to 45. M80 have a little bit of control in the apartments thanks to the lurk of Rec, but it looks like, again, they're leaning towards that B site. Smoke gets thrown in their faces, a flashbang by Wolfie right before that. Excuse me, a Molotov was thrown. And now he's peering over the top of this smoke, hoping to catch off a player, but Reason have both retreated, or I should say both players for Reason have retreated in towards New Box, and they were double stacked there for a moment, but now have one over at Dark Corner, one New Box, and Walker coming in from CT. 46 seconds left. M80 do not have to commit to this site. They can rotate back to A, but time is ticking away, and they have to make a decision soon.
Smoke towards CT. Molotov's flash is going in.
This is a
Counter
full
utility
fake.
coming through. This is entirely a fake. Wolfie selling with the op of all things as well, and Walker's read it. He's sprinting back to Speedway, keeping an eye on the arch rotation. Dane in towards Pit. There is that smoke down. He has a teammate on flag as well. And Grave, can he get something? He's got one. Can he get more? He's got 2.
What?
Make it 3. He's channeling Rec now this time. We saw Rec hold it off. Graves turn in line. cannot get the fourth, but Rex 1 HP. Bomb going down. Wolfie is here. 2v3, make it 2v2. Huge shot from Wolfie. Wreck on site. Has it playing off. Wolfie spots the next. Beaky in the open. It's all up to J-Dubs. The hero is down. And J-Dubs has a chance to pick up the mantle. Oh my gosh.
J-Dubs, can you do it? 1v2. Creeping up from the apartment. I think he's going to get spotted here. No! He gets the frag onto Rex. Now he's got a chance to take down Wolfie. Time ticking away. He can't do it! Wolfie with the no-scope on the J-Dubs. 1 HP. A 3K for him. 16-14 in favor of M80. This series is done. But wow, does it end in exciting fashion. The one thing, though, Walker missed, I don't want to say an easy shot, but a very makeable shot right before M80 got to the bomb site, and he's probably kicking himself for it now, because if he does, we're probably in overtime, no questions asked. But I mean, really impressed. At the very least, from what we saw from Reason, Anubis, aside from the second half, very strong, and here on Inferno, they were extremely resilient.
Yeah, I can see why they picked into Inferno. They did know the map very well. They had a game plan, and they followed it to a T. Now, they did get bailed out by Beaky incredibly early. The 6 rounds they got at the beginning, that was Beaky and Beaky alone. This one could have been done and dusted when we swapped over halves. It wasn't. Beaky kept them alive, then everybody else started to come through. J-Dubs, Walker. Those two really helped out a lot when they started to come back into their own. They got something. They almost took it to overtime, but they just came up short, and it was a good attempt, a very valiant attempt from Reason. But unfortunately, John, they do fall on the end, and it kind of was that expected 2-0 from M80, albeit a little more turbulent for the victors.
Definitely more turbulent than they expected, which they had in their last series as well on the same map of Inferno against the Bad News Bears. But all that matters is they have 3 wins, and they haven't lost a single map so far, 6-0. Reason Gaming, it is their opening match of ECL, and like we said, not too bad for them. Probably a team to keep an eye on, but they are 0-1 start the season. They'll have to wait until their next match to try and get a W on the board. That is going to do it for us tonight, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back tomorrow for some more ECL action. Have a great night.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.